In Merlin's level, you made giant trees where you go through? Yeah, interesting. Okay. No, we're back. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, no, I just noticed the stream cut out briefly as well. I just noticed that. Yeah, that seemed to be a very brief interruption, thankfully. I'm glad I caught that quickly. And we didn't actually have to do anything on our end. That was just a... connection got cut for a moment. Yeah, we lost connection for a moment on our end. Whoops. I don't know if you saw me get through that previous segment. We seem to be okay now, though. Like, I'm glad it wasn't a situation where we had a big connection drop for minutes and minutes. But seem to be okay. And yeah, thank you for the follow. Oh, got distracted by that and totally blew that jump. And yeah, thank you for everybody who is kind of staying on past the DCs. I know that was a very brief one, but like when we have disconnections that are longer, we do tend to understandably lose audience. It's something that we just need to mitigate. Okay, let's go. Now, one thing that is possible is coming back here with the fire flower, but here's something we can do. Here's something we can do. I'm going to go back up the red pipe after I grab the fire flower. I have a particular idea in mind. It is probably not right, but... So, Wizoka, I found out how to get the fire flower. I thought that the answer was going to be to get up through the pipe that is above the moles. And I tried that and I was very surprised to just run into that and not be able to make it. That latest section. So I felt like I was very close, and then I was surprised to find that the mole pipe is not the answer. So I was so sure that getting above the moles would be a thing. Okay. You need to go, Merlin? Yeah, no problem. You're here often enough, and you know where to find me. Thank you for leaving gracefully. Yeah, because what we did was we grabbed the flower. Like that, right? So here's the thing. I checked the mole pipe, and it's not the answer. I can, however, go back through here. If I go back through here and I drop back down, then I can be bumped to the left while using the flower, or I can actually come down while the... I don't know if the dry bones would still be a bit of an obstruction, but let's try to do some kind of conditional spawning trick here, because if we come back here with a mushroom. And then we managed to go down to pipe. Okay. I see, and then here's a pipe that's down here. So if we go right away and then dodge that bumper, then we can go down through this pipe here. Yep. Here comes the possible cheese. Interesting. Well, I mean, I don't know what the cheese versus the intended solution is yet, so I certainly haven't noticed. But yeah, we seem to be progressing rather steadily through this, so I'm definitely going to stay on it and continue solving it. No, forgot a mushroom. Okay. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay. My bad. No, no way to bring a flower with me. Nope. I was considering options for that, but if I go back through the red pipe, it knocks me back down to a mushroom, so it's not going to be an issue, as far as I know. Because no matter what I do, I am going to take damage. But yeah, it feels like I have solved that room. I just need to solve the bit of a timing challenge going down to the bottom right pipe in the room after that. We have a very specific solution here. Now, whoops, too far to the left. Don't need to go that far. Need to be a little bit precise about execution in that particular solution. But we've got it. Okay. Alright. And mushroom, there we go. Okay, stand a bit to the left. A little bit to the left. Grab the flower. Go back up the pipe. I wonder if that's necessary. I feel like if I go directly to the left without getting bumped, that I would collide with the dry bones in a non-productive fashion. Whoops. Okay. Hang on. I'm still going to respawn through here just to see what's going on. Because I want to read the room before I get hit by that bonsai. You see skull platform under a thwomp. Skull platform takes you over to the door that's on the right side. You see an arrow that tells you to drop to the left. I don't know if I trust that because it looks like it just drops you back to the beginning. If I've counted my pipes accurately. Nope. Should have ridden it a little bit more gently. Okay, Bullet Bill is a power-up check. Interesting. Felt like I could get out of there with Small Mario, though, in terms of getting to the door. But maybe I wasn't reading the timing on the bonsai build very well. Next section is when you need to take your time. Okay. No rush. Okay. Well, we'll see. Let's see. Still progressing. Yeah, I mean, the thing about troll levels is that, like, everything does fundamentally need to be checked at some point. Like, you can skip some trolls, but, you know, seems like when you skip some trolls, you do it accidentally more than deliberately. And so when you see arrow markers like that, I do have to check that at some point. Okay. Let's get through here. Wait for the mushroom. I mean, if it is a power-up check, then I guess maybe the back and forth that allows me to get down as Small Mario is not the answer. Either that or I'm supposed to spawn a fire flower and then run left and get bumped. Which is always a possibility. I mean, let's see if... I feel like collision's gonna be an issue here, right? Oh no, it's not gonna be an issue. I can just, be big. Okay, so we know now that we can get through here while big. I've got to check the spot eventually. Let's just check it. Okay, didn't think so. Okay, but we know that we can actually get through there while big without having to do the back and forth through the red pipe. So that's important information. And then we'll just continue progressing. Here we go. There we go again. Left. Yeah. Okay. Oh, pretty generous, those invincibility frames there. We'll go right. Okay, no, I felt like I needed to use those invincibility frames to get through there. Yeah, I see how that bonsai timing is being used as a control, such that if I got through there when it was small and dodged a swap like I did last time, that would still not be good enough. Because I would need to power right through that bullet. Your thoughts are that the PS5 looks like a router? Yeah, I've definitely heard that. I mean, it would be a very big and presumably noisy router, but definitely heard that comparison. I think the funniest thing I've seen with the PS5 design was somebody like photoshopping it into an urban skyline to make it look like a modern skyscraper. That I thought was rather inspired. Yeah, I don't know what you folks think of the PS5 so far. I mean, I watched the announcement, I'm not sure I really paid much attention to it beyond that. Okay, it looks like that's just a bit of a fake out. You can in fact bounce on the trampoline in the high room. I feel like I should politely say hello to that room myself. And then that is new content, so we'll continue pushing since we... Well... And yeah. Can I give you my thoughts so far, just on the level in general? I feel like I've been progressing from one obstacle to the next at a decent pace, so, like... And in spite of, like, tighter execution-based stuff, like standing in the right spot here, that at least I've not been dying to execution-based things when I repeat the level. So I find that with trolls, that's the thing that is best avoided. That, like, with trolls, there's enough trial and error going on that if I solve something once, I want it to stay solved, right? And so far, I think this level has been pretty good to me about that. Okay, something's happening down below. That's gonna be a lull high. Looks like a lot of spikes down there. Looks like you have two tracks here that, like, may have... I don't know if they have anything invisible going. Quite possibly I'm just not supposed to go through this door at all. But, yeah, because that's gonna be death for sure. The spike hitbox. Right? No, actually, it's not gonna be death for sure. I can, in fact, get over with a small jump. I don't know if I'm supposed to be in that room, though. Might be that it has a lull high room. Might just be a dead end. The tracks are there to highlight and tell you a hint, I guess. Okay. Well, we'll think about that. Yeah, because we have double tracks and we have an arrow that was pointing... that case, okay. Telling me that there might be some kind of, like, invisible setup going on. Whoops. Yeah, and that we haven't really looked at the bonsai room very closely. That's something I'll have to think about. No. Hey, it was Oak. I'm enjoying this one and I'm progressing through it. I just want to briefly check how long I've been on. Scroll back and see. And okay. Looks like we've been, yeah, we've been on this for quite some time. So I think what I'm going to do what I can with this attempt, and then we will move on through the queue. And I would like to finish this if you are able to stay to resubmit it. But it's just as a matter of time. I am enjoying this so far, and I do want to finish it. But like I said, that is the kind of usual policy I have with pro levels, just so we don't keep people waiting forever, since some of the restarts can soak up some time. And I feel like this troll level has played very fair with me so far, so... Whoops, But it's more, you know, losing to stuff like that. We'll make one good attempt, whatever that means. Just to explore a little more to the limit of our progression. Whoops. That does not count as a good attempt. Whoops. Shot right in the face. No, forgot the mushroom. I feel like I haven't really taken a good enough look at the hint room. I might have to take a look at it again, to be honest. Even if it blows this attempt to do it. Like, I know that it was pointing at the parallel tracks and the kind of block setup there. I feel like I have to take another look at it before I actually get a chance to understand it. But I will see. Like, we still don't really know what's going on with the question block stack over there, unless it's just there to soak up time. Yeah, I guess it's more that I have to think about where the hint will actually be applied, like whether we've seen the location where the hint is relevant. See the double blasters in the center over there. Okay, so this is interesting, because we saw the hint room point to this alternating pattern with the spikes and bricks earlier. I'm in a bit of a disadvantageous position here in terms of actually kind of being able to see where I'm jumping. Hang on. Okay, no, that's a semi-solid. That's all safe. Oh, we got smacked. Okay, we are so close. I'm going to do one more attempt at that spot there, just to see how close we are to the end. Okay, there's going to be like a big CP setup or something after that, and I'll definitely not continue. But that was actually progress. I'm almost at CP1. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to finish on this attempt then, but we will try to see CP1. And box is friend. Well, we'll see. I mean, I feel like by the time I come back to this level to finish it properly, we'll need to relearn that all over again. But okay, no, that's all safe. Womp. Okay. Got ground blocks above that. Womp. How do we get through this when there's a semi-solid there? I need to go to the right side of the swamp and drop down. Okay. Box's friend? Yeah, okay. Seems like we needed to get the Pokies to kind of get stuck on this slope. Okay. I feel like that's a pretty meaningful amount of progress at this point. Like, we'd have to get stuck after CP1 anyway, so I do like this so far. I think it's been very fair to me. And so I'll just kind of mark that as something that I want to return to later. So, oh yeah, and got like a 6-minute record clear time on that, even in a single segment. So, long adventure. Hey Rammers, welcome back. Yeah, thank you for that, Wizoka. Do feel free to resubmit. We'll be going for some time yet, so if you're able to stay, maybe we'll be able to swing around it again. If you are not able to stay tonight, maybe you'll be able to resubmit on a different stream, but very happy to continue that. See how we are doing in the list. Yeah, you can resubmit right now if you think you were able to stay. Yeah, I'm very happy to continue this in multiple segments. It's just that we don't want to keep other people waiting for too long. Yeah, Real Cupid Pete, let's take a look at T9R. 5GQ. GPF. And yeah, Remmers, thank you for sending Desert Speeding up and down. I did see that one come up, actually, so I'm looking forward to playing that. Bad Balloon Barracks, so it's going to be a P-Balloon level, it looks like. Touch a balloon, it's game over, man, game over. Now, I know that line is much older, but I always think about it in the voice of Stetman from StarCraft 2, who quotes it. So we've got a 20% clear rate on this, short and sweet and themed. Take a look. Thank you, Wizoak, for the resubmission. Reach the goal without taking damage. So, bad balloon, we don't want to touch the balloon. Okay. Now I wonder what it would be about touching the P-balloons that kills you. Because that's not clear to me yet, in terms of what is actually triggered by it. How the mechanism would work. Unless it's just a gate. I have no idea if the pink coins are optional, but we'll take them anyway. Oh, okay. I'm just going to scout ahead anyway, just to see how the lock actually works. Because I just want to see it. Okay, that's fairly simple. And then, let's see, what's going to happen here? I see. And so in order to get pink coin, I'd have to go down and then jump my way back up on the left side. Ah, I see, and it's going to be time limited. Due to the skewer. Love the skewer push. I guess, no, that's the end of the belt, actually. It's belt-based. Yeah, presumably the skewer busts some blocks or something that allows everything to progress one hit at a time. Okay. Start over. Coins are optional? Yeah, we'll get them anyway. This level is pretty relaxed, so I feel like I want to see true ending. I mean, particularly for levels that are easier on the easier side when it comes to clear rate, I find that like optional content gets a little bit underplayed in Mario Maker. So I do try to do it when it's, you know, accessible and not very fussy. Okay. We'll come back up this way. Come back up this way. And back down. Okay, 4 coins so far. Clear condition level, so safety coin not going to be an issue, since we need to restart anyway. Okay, Koopa Shell, why? Because Koopa Shell allows you to hit the on-off switch. That's going to affect something as we get towards the axe. Oh, that's going to affect just the scroll lock here that is right beside the axe. Okay. Okay, you're going to give me a safety coin anyway, that's fine. Yeah, safety coin's not actually needed in a setup like this, because with a clear condition level, everything is going to be single segment. But we'll take it. And yeah. We'll get all that. Now, it says GG here. We do know that if you fall, you hit a P-balloon though, right? But that's okay, because the P-balloon no longer locks you. Yeah. I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To just make it absolutely sure that the player knows that it's an optional true ending. Yeah, I understand that. Thank you for Bad Balloon Barracks. Short and sweet. Well, it doesn't really give you an opportunity to kill that Yoshi, Remmers. But, you know, close enough. Nice to have something short and sweet to break up the pace a little bit after some long levels. Yeah, we're still going to be open for some time yet, so resubmissions are quite welcome. Mr. Lezer, new to making, newer to puzzle levels? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We kind of beta test things for newer makers all the time. I'm sure we can break things like crazy if there are any obvious vulnerabilities. And yeah, I mean, you know, the only way to really learn how to do this stuff is, as a maker, is just to see it playtested and occasionally see it broken. So thank you for offering me first clear. This is a very, very new completion on your part. I always appreciate it when people are willing to give me first crack at things. And we'll make an attempt at controlling Mario's resources. Okay. So, we see that on-off switch is going to unlock something from the pipe as well as that block in the top left. You see that this is going to be a side swamp. That's only going to be relevant insofar as it allows us to do a spin jump pattern following it over to the left. Let's just kind of poke around here. Okay, thank you for the follow. We're not going to check these blocks yet. Okay, Piranha Plant obstructs that brick to the right, which I'm sure it must give you a bomb or something in order to hit that pink point at all. This segment down here looks like it would require kind of invincibility frames, I'm sure, because you can drop in, grab the coin, run back left to Small Mario, and knock back out. This coin, yeah, implies that we have access to either some kind of bomb or... Well, I mean, it could be that we're built rather high in the level and drop down somewhere safely, but given the camera positioning, I don't think so. Given the camera positioning, I feel like that must be a pit. So let's take the swamp and jump up to the midsection. No, let's check these first. Okay. Okay. In that case... Ah, okay, so this has to go after we bust these bricks. Right, and in this game, P-Switch does not affect these bricks like they do in Super Mario World, we know that. P-Switch... Remember the held item and spin jump logic in this game, which is slightly different from Maker 1. Shell, of course, if you don't put it on, you can throw it through Piranha. Eventually, you would want to put it on so you can come down here. Shell also gives you an up throw for the on-off switch, which will let you spawn something. Okay. So we need to be careful about not putting on a shell right away, because like there are a lot of thrown interactions we set for. Now at least we know... Let's see what the deflection pattern is like. Whoops. Okay, we don't want to do it that way. And that actually doesn't give you access to anything. Yeah, we'll have a couple of, you know, different respawns like that just to see how things are going. Let's see what's in that pipe. Aha! Okay, no, we don't want to lose the bombs necessarily, but we do want a bomb to come up to the left. We do want a bomb also to be in that piranha spot for it, so... I feel like I can't just pick up the shell like that because unfortunately I can't soft drop the shell, right? Like I'd have to throw it and then... Yeah. Okay. That's fine, but we kind of have a method for a lot of this stuff now. I should have kept the shell there, actually. Position. So it's going to be 5 coins total. We don't know what's in a jump block yet, but it looks like something probably needs to tread on top of it, possibly me. Let's just try this just to scout. Okay, we do know eventually that to the left is probably going to be damage oriented, but we'll check this. Mushroom. Mushroom's important. Yeah, mushroom gives us damage boost. We'll need to take 2 points of damage, we know, because of a coin to the left and a coin to the right. I still don't know what the P-switch is for, then. Like, the P-switch gives you a safety zone to the left here, but I don't think that's useful. Because even if the blocks under this pink coin to the top left were protected by P, you would have needed to take damage to get through the saw blade to begin with, right? So I guess like it gives you a few, like it gives you a little bit more time in terms of adding. But I don't see why I would ever want to activate the P-switch. And we don't know what's going on with the vine climb here yet, but I think that's just there to respawn that block if necessary. Hey, DD Megado Odu, welcome. Probably bungled your name completely just from a first reading, but we'll take a better look at that later. So, okay, this is going to be up throw. That's going to give you bombs. I don't know what a trampoline is for yet, but let me drop that moment. Back up here. Okay. I want to hit a bomb. Oh, no. I didn't want to lose the shell. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to lose the shell like that. But do I need the shell for anything other than getting this thing here? Like, if at this point, like, I would want to blow up the block that is holding the P-switch. Once I blow it up, then I'm able to hit this for a vine block. And that's fine, because... yeah, I can use the P-switch as a blocking piece to stop the bombs from wandering around. And then we can check where the vine takes us upstairs. Okay, so let's start this over. Still don't know what pieces like the trampoline and the P-switch are actually for. I don't see a use for them yet. And yes, DD, you are absolutely welcome to add a level. We are still wide open. So lots of room in the queue. Okay, so this is gonna be first, for sure. Okay. Just need to grab this. Let's grab the P-switch as well, just to get out of the way. I'll get everything out of the way. We don't want to step on it accidentally yet. We don't want to accidentally wear the shell yet, because we do need to hit the vine block. Blow that up. Grab that. Oh, no. Okay. I needed that. Yeah, a little fussy to... okay, so that's the other coin. We would want a way to have a timed hit on an on-off, wouldn't we? In order to get through there. I don't think there's a good way to do that. I think I would need... to see whatever's through this key door, and through the key door there would be some kind of on-off interaction, maybe. Thank you for the submission of I don't think you can as a prototype. You know what, we can just shut off the bombs too. Like, okay. I understand more of this. Let's grab the shell and the P-switch just to get this stuff out of the way. No, I didn't want to catch the shell like that. Hang on. Yeah. I feel like having the shell and a P-switch next to each other like this spot. Like, I can see that it's supposed to sort of block the vine. But having them right next to each other this way, like, makes it a little bit fussy in terms of execution, in terms of actually picking them up. I feel like I'd want the item pickups to be a little bit more spread out. Now, we know that the P-switch, and for that matter, the trampoline, like, you can't take it up the vine anyway, so I don't think they're actually useful. Like, I don't see them as being useful. Okay, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to stop this. Oh, no, I didn't want to hit that yet. Hang on. Awesome Lamp, welcome. Yeah, I understand the order. I completely understand the order. I just need to execute it. Okay. Like, I completely see the order that I want in order to get all 5 coins going into the door. Like, I see all of it. I'm just trying to preserve these items in case we need them, but... Okay. We'll bust this first. Gives us access to the on-off. Oh, whoops. Forgot to re-jump on that. That's a very silly way to die. Thank you for double trouble, Awesome Lamb. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about puzzle levels is that, like, there is sometimes some time that is lost to, like, just fixing execution mistakes even when you understand the solution. That's kind of the stage that I'm at right now with this one. So, okay, we want to ignite here. We then want to... Okay, no, I just mistimed that. Hang on. Yeah, just like I said, execution mistakes. I know exactly what it is I need to do just to make everything happen from here. Particularly given that we have mushroom access. Yeah, I feel like, you know, it is a bit of a mystery in terms of what you need to take through the locked door with you. Like, right now I don't know if there's going to be a mushroom requirement there or a shell requirement there or what. And so that feels like it might require a little bit of blind guesswork, but we'll see how we do. Let's not accidentally nuke the shell. Okay. Let's carefully grab some of this stuff. Don't like this one tile slot here. Because again, that's a bit of an execution check, and I don't know. I feel like those don't always fit these levels very well, but we'll... Anyway, we'll come here first of all. I can always just drop a bomb on this thing. I don't want to drop a shell on it, though. Spawn one bomb. Whoops. Yeah. Same with the thing down there. The coin down there, that's going to be a damage boost coin for sure. But let's grab the mushroom first, perhaps. I feel like this is going to be a very execution-dependent thing here, though. Like, I don't want to grab the mushroom yet because I do need to fit into the one-tile slot. Yeah, jumping into one-tile slots generally doesn't feel good, especially when you have the spike underneath like that, which prevents me from retrying. But I basically think with puzzle levels in general that you don't want too many execution mistakes because you want the player to feel like solving the interaction is enough. It's okay. We do need to take damage for the last spot there, but grabbing the mushroom will do that trick for us. Okay, mushroom. And yeah, luckily we prevented the mushroom from despawning. Yeah, actually no, I'm going to be stuck here because I could potentially safely use a bomb throw to get this coin, but I don't think I can. I need to take 2 points of damage, and I already took 1 point of damage from the one-tile jump here, which is unfortunate. Because, yeah, I need to take 1 point of damage to get the top left. I need to take 1 point of damage to get down here. Unless I could just do it with a throw. So, yeah, I'll need to start this over for sure, I think. Okay. Can jump off a bomb, yeah. Like if I spawn another bomb, why would I want to spin jump off a bomb though? Like, where would I want to use it? Because like, I still need to take 2 points of damage, right? Like, I can theoretically throw an item to get the top left coin, but I don't think I can actually reach that with a throw. Jump off a bomb, yeah, to project it. Yeah, that's true, that's true. Like if I wanted to drop a bomb here and then... However, I've got a wall here though, right? Like, will the bomb go right if I spin jump directly on it like that? Let's try it. Got 40 seconds left. Okay. Alright. Unfortunately, the donut block needs to drop first. Okay. Yeah, execution I think is a little bit fussy, but... yeah. No, I think it's just best if I, you know, clean up this jump and redo it, and take 2 points of damage and go through the locked door. The other thing is that if I drop a trampoline beneath the on-off box and then drop a bomb on top of it, then I can trigger the on-off switch on a timer, and I don't need to worry about the last key door at all. Let's try that. Well, I'll try to do as much of these interactions properly as I can, and we'll try that as a backup plan. You see what I'm saying? Put the trampoline underneath the on-off box, drop an ignited bomb on top of it, and then climb the vine, and then beat the vine. Like, beat the on-off interaction up the vine. I feel like that might be able to do something for us. Assuming that the bombs get enough height. So, let me just grab the P-switch in case we need it. I don't see a use for it yet, but... unless it's a P-jump somewhere. No, I don't see a use for it. Okay. We'll do the things that we did before with the bombs. Hang on. I'm gonna restack these just so it's just for clarity. Just for clarity. Because I don't want to die to the shell deflect there. So. Yeah. Yeah, the puzzle itself is fine. I feel like the execution constraints might be lightened up a bit. Particularly that one tile. But I guess I just don't find falling into that one tile to be that interesting, you know, relative to the puzzle stuff that's going on. We want to drop a bomb again to the left side here. Good. Let's hit that switch just to shut everything off. Hang on. Shut everything off for a moment while we... Okay, I need to grab this thing for sure. Need to fall into that. Okay, got it. We will need to take 1 point of damage down here. We'll need to take 1 point of damage up top. Let's get the swamp over. Nope, don't want to do that by accident. Okay. Over here. Nope, slow. Too slow. Okay, back. Can you help me with that tile? Your intention was to throw the spring on top of the spike. Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, that was actually considerably smarter. 98 seconds, that's fine. We have to get that on the top left. That's fine. Well, we know we need to take both points of damage. 85 seconds. Okay. Now we grab this thing here. Now we check the key door. Can't carry these up to mine, so... Yeah, originally what I was thinking is drop trampoline here. Or rather, well, you know what I mean. Drop it here. Drop it. Then drop a bomb and then do a timed activation on this to unlock everything up top. It looks like we will need to do this instead, though. But if I had a timed bomb activation here, then I could just go through right away without some additional on-off interaction through here. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. That was unexpected. Okay, thank you for first clear. Yeah, puzzle interaction was fine, like I said. And yeah, the execution stuff, like now that you noted the trampoline under the one tile, yeah, okay, that's a lot fairer than I gave it credit for. I just wasn't really thinking about that. I mean, obviously you would want to turn off the pipe first, so bombs don't drop in your head. But that's something you kind of should be doing anyway. I felt like some of the elements were a little bit extraneous in that, you know, I never actually used a P-switch, so I don't know what your intention with the P-switch was supposed to be. Given that we actually have enough time to just use invincibility frames on the top left. So some of the elements feel like they are kind of red herrings, where, you know, I was using the P-switch as a blocking element, and never actually using it as a P-switch. But, you know, I think the flow through it was probably fine in terms of controlling Mario's resources, so thank you for that. Let's move on to the next thing. Oh, thank you for the GGs, folks. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, like, if I look at the top left obstacle, I can actually tell immediately I do have enough time. And that having the one tile of difference with the key blocks above the spikes, like, does not make a difference. So let's give that a next. We are doing next and sub next, but I noticed that there were no subs in the queue, so as far as I know. At least I can't see any. So Lucio, I don't know if they're still here. Let me just check the list. Lucio, I think, is gone. And Yeah. Don't bother doing sub next for this? Yeah, that's fine. I was going to just kind of... I'm already punching it next, so let me just clear the next out first. 127, I think, said he had to leave. Oops. Just a second. Got my chat box fixed. I got my chat box set up a little bit differently before. I think 127 said they had to leave, but the panel still shows them as lurking, so let me just... hang on, I accidentally cleared my chat box. I'm just going to check what the clear rate is like on theirs in case it's something simple. If it's something simple, I'll do it. If it's something long, I'm not going to do it because I think they might not actually be here. I just see them on the lurking list. This is really quick. We'll just do it. Since they are lurking. Okay, this is meant to look like 1-2, although we can see that the camera positioning is not quite authentic. That's fine. And we will, of course, check the warp zone when we get to it. Okay. The fact that the camera positioning is not authentic to 1-2 tells me there is probably something going on with the lower level of this layout. Interesting variant on the tracks. And checkpoint down there, warp zone down here. Yeah, of course we're going to do a World 4 skip. Okay. Oh, okay. You know, if we did a high jump above the Goomba, we could reach that checkpoint. I think that you have a warp zone basically built into this thing, though. And that's going to give you a refresh on everything. This is basically going to work like Birdo, actually. In fact, you can tell very directly that the Lemmy fight here is supposed to resemble a Birdo fight. Okay. And we'll move through. Here we go. Okay. Looks like multiple routes, depending on what you do with the standard route or the warp zone, but if 127 comes back, we'll see some of the other routes properly. Usually I would explore them exhaustively, but I don't think they're actually here anymore, so... yeah. Okay. And Electrodude, you're going to decline the sub next? Okay, that's fine. If we have more subs come in, then we'll do it that way anyway, but... I appreciate you volunteering. DDO, let's take a look at yours. Do you see you on the lurker list? And thank you for the path to Bowser, Mr. Lesser. DDO, I do see you here. You might want to check in regardless. But in the meantime, we'll take a look at Charvarg and Bully, River and Sewers. Reverse the river and go down to Sewers. Charvarg hunt and Bullies confront. Yeah, I certainly noticed the rhyming in the description. Managed to pack quite a lot of that in there for such a tight character limit. Thank you for saying hello. We have one clear on this so far on a very new level. This came out a couple hours ago, and record is 20 minutes, which tells me that he had some trouble after the checkpoint. See if we do any better. Okay, hammer. Okay. Pretty straightforward. And Charbarg's going to give us plenty of room to play with. And yeah. Okay. So far so good. We do need to keep the builder suit, of course. Now, okay, that's just going to tell us what the positioning of... Whoops. Oh, okay, no, I was trying to duck and then I just slid right down the slope. That was terrible. Long world record because there's only one clear on it. And so whoever cleared it first just died a lot after the checkpoint. Like, I don't think there's anything suspicious about that. Oops. Rammers, you were the one who sent me Aerial Hammer Time, weren't you? Like, that's, I was... Like, I know I played, it's like an early version of that. I don't think I actually saw the final revision of it, but, I still remember that as a kind of very unique hammer level. So. Oops. Yeah, like, you know, picking up momentum as the builder suit is always a little bit of a frustration, I think, but try to create a longer platform there. Nope. Okay, I got sniped. Yeah, I didn't really have the opportunity to duck, but thankfully... Oh, hammer right there. Okay, great. Great. I appreciate that hammer refresh specifically, actually, because the trap of trying to dodge the Charbarg on a slope is something to keep in mind. Okay, we should stop maybe throwing crates directly on top of the Podoboo spots. Okay, here we go. Got a safe zone here. Oh, whoops. Yeah. It's not so much a good memory as a selective memory. But yeah. I mean, it was a pretty memorable level, though, so... Because, no, the reason I remembered Aerial Hammer Time and also knew that I had played an earlier version was because I was trying to dig it up to show somebody a while ago. Because somebody was asking me about hammer levels. Okay. Let's wait for the Podoboo to come up and we'll just take the next cycle. We do know that there's the hammer refresh right there, so that's fine. Have to not die to getting rid of our own crates. Like if I threw a third crate there, that would probably have been death. Okay. Okay. Yeah, good idea so far. I feel like, though, that the obstacles do feel a little repeated after a while. Like, they're not really getting more complex. It's kind of the... I mean, we have to watch over stuff like that, where we accidentally use up all our crates. And kind of die to inattention. But I feel it's one of those things where, you know, after a little while you kind of get the idea of what the crate and Charbarg interaction will be when you... Like, you add the Podoboos, and the Podoboos make it kind of interesting in terms of forcing a bit more timing and accuracy. But then it feels like it needs, like, maybe one additional variation at that stage just to keep things interesting. Okay, let's not throw 3 crates at a time, because that's going to get us into a ton of trouble. Well, we can do 3 crates to start, but we'll do 2 after that, just so we don't destroy our own platforms. Okay. Here we go. and we'll wait for the next cycle. Like, maybe this was balanced around a different kind of speed or timing than what I'm doing here. That's always possible. I feel like I'm definitely kind of doing a bit of a stop and go just to get everything right. Okay, here's our first sign of the bully. Now it could get a bit different. Okay, there's a checkpoint. Checkpoint right before the pipe. You know what? We're going to grab that because we can. Let's get out of here. I feel like this is a little bit narrow. I would have appreciated one more tile under the checkpoint. You know, because when you respawn, it's very easy to just get a little bit careless on locations like that. But, whoops. And this being a checkpoint, hopefully we'll get a hammer refresh right away, and we do. Okay. Great. Yeah, pretty relaxed so far. Whoops. Oh, I completely miscounted. Great. Completely miscounted. Okay. Let's swat the bully out of the way. Whoa. Okay, that's gonna be a loss. Yeah. Alright, let's grab that. And then, yeah. Okay, sorry. Just had to take a moment to count up how we were doing. Oh, whoops. No, I need the hammer past that point for sure. Okay, here we go. No. Loss. Yeah. That's fine. This is an interesting spin on the idea now, like having to control the bully position as well. Yeah. One doesn't see very many builder levels where the crate is actually relevant, so it's... Okay, we totally got locked into that position there. However, if we bounce off the bully and then... Okay, no, we can't. I was thinking get a little bit more distance. That was certainly not the case. So let's grab this again. And... yeah, doing well so far. Charvarg is going to hang around here and be an irritation. Okay, that's going to be death. Let's not start from the start. That would be a terrible but all too common mistake. Okay, that works. Nope. Okay. I feel like I should have known that that's going to be the starting position for Charvarg. I have played around with Charvarg enough, like in the Maker mode, that I do know how his spawning logic tends to work. I just haven't been paying enough attention to what's going on here, because he spawns directly underneath the bully in that central location. And so I do know that I'll need to just kind of let him launch safely. Get out of my way. I know I can hit the bully with the hammer. I was not really in a good position to do that. I definitely can't hit Charvarg though, can I? Yeah, no, I definitely can't hit Charbark. No, I know I can hit Bully, it's just that we were in a bad position to do it. Like, that's an interaction we see frequently enough. Now, Charbark is always going to jump by a certain number of tiles, although relative to his spawning position on the screen. So there are going to be some safe zones that are available. Okay, let's get that guy out of there. Yeah. Okay, let's just get out. Oh, okay, no, I got trapped. I was trying to go left, and unfortunately the sinking of the crate caught me. So I think that would be death. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, once you have the crates next to each other like that, when you sink on one of them, you can't actually run across them. So I got caught out by that in that time. Oops. Yeah, I can begin to see now where that very long first clear time is coming from, simply because, like, being after the first checkpoint already, like, you can see that even though the level itself is actually fairly relaxed, each of the attempts will be fairly long. And so the attempts can add up very quickly, even with a high clear rate like that. I think that's very clearly what's going on. I just need to be a little bit more careful. And yeah. Okay, Charbark's gonna spawn. Charbark's gonna move. Yeah, we just couldn't get the hammer out in time. A little bit too much of a wind-up time on that. Okay. Yeah, no. Let's get out. Charbark does not kill the crates, which is very kind of it. Okay, there we go. Cross some of the gaps with only one platform. Yeah. I'm doing it more for safety. I don't necessarily trust myself to do the one platform landing, that's all. Like, I know you can do it. But, you know, better safe than sorry. Nope, bad timing. Terrible timing. And that's just gonna kill me because I will need the hammer past that point, okay. Yeah, no, I'm just kind of playing it safe. I do know, for instance, that, you know, you see something like that and you definitely cross it with one set of platforms. I'd rather not depend on that. Yeah, I feel like the checkpoint platform is definitely, you know, I definitely noticed that you're only giving me one tile there. But I think I generally have the sense that checkpoints should psychologically feel safer. Like, they shouldn't be packed too tightly against real hazards. But I don't know how tight you were on space in general in terms of how much room you had left to build in the main world. Okay. Oh, whoops. Got bumped. It's okay. We'll do it. Okay. Didn't want to accidentally nuke our own platforms once again. Yeah. Wind up time on the hammer sometimes can really throw me off. But like the wind up going into a dash specifically. I think that's most of the reason why the hammer can feel rather clunky sometimes. It's just that, you know, you get into so many habits with how to get back into a dash. Okay, let's, Whoa, 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 no. I did not expect it to sail nearly that far. That was very poor judgment. Okay, here we go. And let's see that come up. Okay, that's surprisingly safe. Okay, that works too. And that feels pretty good so far. Let's just play it pretty safely. And find that, especially when things are kind of stretched over this length, that I tend to be very, very cautious. Okay. Hey, Sonic Heroes. Welcome. No. That's going to be a loss. Thank you for the submission of Morton's Castle. Yeah, we'll be closing the queue fairly soon, since we've been running for a while. For those of you who are new here, I do tend to get through everybody who stays after queue closing. Like, if you're already in the queue, I will almost certainly make sure that you get played. Sometimes it does require me to run very late, but I try to keep that commitment. We'll be closing off new submissions fairly soon. So, if you folks have anything that you want to add, now would be a good time to do it. It's going to be more or less last call. Ouija time? Okay. That'll kick in with the next attempt. Thank you for redeeming that awesome lamp. Stay on this attempt for now, though. Okay. And then we'll see how much further we get. Yeah, counting crates is definitely part of the challenge here. Whoa. Get this guy out of my face. And let Charvard go. It does seem counterintuitive that Charvard doesn't destroy any of that stuff. Okay, I knew he was going to be there, going to come right up under my feet, but... And yet. Yeah. Now, I think I discovered in one of the Ninja speedruns that Twirl in 3D World actually kind of cuts a little bit of your horizontal momentum, and though I shouldn't be using that the way that I would in an SMBU in terms of expecting it to prolong my falling distance. It certainly doesn't do that job. Yeah, it's definitely a bit of an endurance level for sure. No problem with that, but it's definitely quite a long stretch without a hammer refresh compared to the first segment of this level, which was a little more generous about that. So, because you really can't afford to take even a single hit. That's kind of surprising in some ways, considering that the rest of this Like, the actual jumps are very forgiving. It's just that you do have to be kind of perfect. Now, the nice thing about the Luigi Switch is that the green crates have a much better visibility over the lava than the red crates did. Whoops. Undermined myself once again. Yeah, but actually the Luigi crates make this level slightly easier to see, which was maybe a hidden advantage of the character switch that I was not expecting. Alright, let's let that come up. Oh. That was all too close. Okay. The crate quota is going to get me into trouble here, I bet. There we go. Oh, no, I wanted to jump there. I don't know how I missed that. I feel like I quite clearly can do this, but that the clear time, whoops, that we were seeing earlier is definitely very understandable now, given, as I said before, the length of each successive attempt. Yeah, we'll definitely be closing the queue by the time we are finished with this one. Just so I have a realistic chance of getting through those who are remaining without prolonging the stream too long. As we can't really keep this as late as usual this session. Sometimes I go very, very late. Not really practical for me to do that today. Yeah, there we go. And okay. Okay, no, just got sniped. And I know the P markers are there, and I should be expecting that kind of thing. I sometimes wonder if the P markers are really the best way to signal that sort of thing. I guess you don't really have that many other options in 3D World. Well, but that's mostly just as a matter of how the collisions work in the 3D World artwork, right? Because I find that, you know, for example, if this were in the standard styles, you could imagine using the mushroom platforms to signify vertical columns, and then the path of the Podoboo spawns would be much clearer. Like, you can see their target position with the P-blocks, but surprisingly it's kind of difficult to visualize the vertical columns without some kind of continuous artwork there. So just from a decorative perspective, I think... And I know you're kind of limited once again with 3D World just because the collisions are sometimes so inconvenient at the tops of semi-solids. That's definitely something to work around. Minnie Hilly, thank you for checking the news. Yeah, the stream's been growing lately, and so we've had to kind of rethink the way that we were doing things when we just had, well, very few people here at a time. But hopefully this works out and that people feel like the way I'm running this is fair in terms of getting your levels played. Minnie Hilly, I will be closing up very soon, so if you... Yeah, you got a submission in, great. Breakout Arcade. Okay. Yeah, got sniped. It's a very long stretch of consistency that you need to do to get through here. That's okay, we'll manage it. Get rid of this guy. Okay. Nope. Nope. thought I could beat that. Very poor judgment. Okay, here we go. Whoa, okay. Alright, let's try that. Yeah, just a lot of stuff to clean up. Haven't really seen how much left there is for me from how far we've gotten in this level so far, so have to work around that. Get rid of this guy. Yeah. Nope. Bad timing once again. Yeah. I feel like the nature of the challenge does have maybe a little bit too much repetition without that much variety to keep it interesting over the long stretch, but, you know, it is a stamina check. This level is very much about consistency with the mechanic. But I feel like some kind of variety to the setups would have made the content feel a little bit more dense in terms of, you know, feeling like you're seeing new things as you progress. Like, I tend to like long levels, and I have a greater patience for long levels than a lot of other players do, I think, but, you know, it's because long levels often they shine when they kind of manage to have the variety to sustain themselves. No, I was trying to dash and I just kept pulling out the hammer instead, and, you know, again, that's the momentum cut from the builder suit. That is a little bit tiresome to work with. Let me see how long I've been on this one. It might be one that I have to do over multiple attempts to DDO, simply because it is taking quite a while. So we've been on for about half an hour. I'll try to give this one more a really good attempt. And then we'll close the queue and probably move on. I mean, I feel like this level is clearly within my ability, it's just that I might need a longer stretch to work on it. And thankfully, the first part is very quick to get through, and so I don't mind having to redo that if we return to this in another session. Not tonight's session, though, because I am going to be closing up. Yeah. So we will, in DDO, return to this another day if you're willing to come back and resubmit it. I'm certainly willing to play it again. I do like the general idea. And it's not like we're racing for first clear anyway, so we'll clear this for the time being, and you are welcome to resubmit at another. I am, however, going to close up for today, though. Those of you who are in queue, I will get to you. Yeah. I feel like this was very clearly within my ability, but, you know, let's just take a look at how the screen looks here. And yeah, we were past the first segment, and you see a little bonus room or something that is up top. And yeah, other than that, so yeah, it's not like there was more to do in part 1 or anything. It looks like part 1 and 2 very much were about using the full 10 screens. Yeah, thank you for that, DDO. We'll hopefully take a better crack at it. So before I get to the next mission, Remmers, let me just get my stream title and bot and all that changed to reflect the fact that we are not taking more submissions. Wrap that up. And then we'll continue from there. Sometimes need a moment for Warp World to just display properly is closed, and it is displaying properly. Good. Just give me a moment here while I just kind of check how we're doing on the list for online and offline. Yeah, it looks like we have quite a few people here. Great, so we'll have at least, depending on who's still present, probably about 5 of those levels to go. Beginning with Rammers. Unless, of course, I mean, you know, Electrodude, if you're here, like, obviously, you're welcome to take me up on that sub next at any given point. Since you have voluntarily declined it for now, that's fine, we'll go. Desert speeding up and down, 30 seconds. Keep your head down fast when you need to. It's hot out here in the desert, so... Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 30 seconds, and you've got about a 1 second margin on the world record. Very well liked for the low number of clears. It seems like the few players that you've had definitely kind of put in a lot of effort to push through this. You see a muncher right at the front that's almost certainly going to drop a trampoline to push us and kind of get things moving. I see that there is going to be a slip between the diagonal jump block thing. That is going to happen right away. We'll see how that goes. I didn't have trouble with obstacles like that, but maybe everything's tuned quite tightly. Reach the goal is Propeller Mario. Okay, so... Ah, okay, that's a twirl. Yeah, I know that's a twirl. Okay, we were just a little bit early on that. Sometimes I'm a little off on reading things like twirl markers. Yeah, need to really kind of twirl before we slam the ceiling, I think. Then, better reaction time on that jump. No, I don't need a twirl there, I just need to fall. Yeah, sometimes with speedrun levels like this, I don't trust the level enough. I don't trust it as much as I should, rather. And I would probably be much better at these if I did. I was a little bit off there. A little bit of twirl, or at least a later takeoff, would have helped. Down. Okay, I needed a slide then, I guess? Yeah, I needed a slide. Took me a moment to process what down arrows were telling me, but I guess if I slide and then I need to hold up to get in that door. I cleared the keys. Sort of interesting that you have the coins basically work as an accuracy check. Yeah. I see what you mean with the up and down. There we go, 23 seconds on the clock. No, I needed to spin. Spin off the wall on a thing like that. Okay, all this stuff, pretty reliable now. Really interesting, the tuning on that swamp, actually, in terms of tightness on it. Okay, just need to practice this. I feel like it's going to be spin jump and twirl in order to get through, if it's possible to do so. Is it bad if Howard Stern sneezed and coughed in a crowded space while farting? Well, I mean, I don't think the farting really makes much of a difference when it comes to respiratory disease. The sneezing and coughing might be a problem if you're not wearing a mask and if, you know, you are yourself infected, but like the farting mainly just smells bad. I don't think it's a big deal. Okay, I think I need to slide a little bit lower. Unless it is supposed to be a jump followed by a twirl, which may be the case. Maybe it is just a standard jump followed by a twirl, but I need to slide a little bit lower to do that. But yeah, like, you know, the way that the thwomp is set up such that the ducking is always safe, but standing up straight is never safe. Like, that's... seems like it definitely took some work to tune, but feels very consistent now that I do it. Like, now that I know that I'm supposed to duck, I don't have trouble with it, but it's the kind of, you know, half-tile interaction, I guess, that to me it looks like it would be tricky to time out properly. But I guess the way that you have the pink coins set up, it really kind of constrains your entry trajectory in such a way that, you know, the way that the thwomp is going to come down by proximity can be very reliable. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of wall jumping. I feel like there's maybe some ground pound canceling that needs to happen there that I'm not doing. Particularly as we get to the wall slide after that. Maybe it is based on ground pound cancel. But particularly as we get into Shelmet down there. Whoops. Yeah, we'll see how we do when we get to that part. And we haven't really seen what the propeller late in the level is going to be yet either, so that's going to be something to keep an eye out for. Yeah. Spin jump at that height is not going to work. And you would probably have given me a Z marker if that was the intended thing anyway, so I feel like it probably does have to be center jump twirl. The height on that is definitely going to be a tightish margin. Yeah, I know the icon is for twirl, I was just trying out different things. Because it felt like I couldn't quite get the jump off, but I think that's because I'm letting go of the wall cling too soon now. Hey, the king. Yeah, we'll see how we do. Oh, no. Need to really get off the edge of that jump. Yeah, at least this obstacle here is right at the start. Seems like things that are dependent on twirl timing are what I'm having the most trouble with so far. There we go. It's nice to just kind of repeat that thing quickly. Oh, just forgot to duck. Notice the sort of flashing on the overlap on the bloopers. That was an interesting effect. Only because I died there, though. I don't think I would see that normally. Yeah. Jump followed by twirl, I'm just not quick enough on that. Really do need to press them one after the other. Very quick succession. But yeah, doing the thwomp slide successfully every time feels great. Okay. No, came in a little bit low. And then it looks like there'll be some kind of slope slide after that. Yeah, my reaction time wasn't great going into that swamp, but... why do you have to pick a number? Because the king, for that reward, that refers to the indexing of the Shakespeare sonnets. As they were kind of originally published in print back in the early 17th century. And so I just ask people to pick a number because I'm not going to pick it myself. I've certainly noticed from people cashing that in that some numbers are definitely more popular than others. But it just means that, you know, we've managed to read certain selections multiple times. Okay, 99. Take a look at 99. Thank you for cashing in that reward. Just need a moment to pull that up. I think 99 has actually not been requested, so very happy to take a look. Okay, so here's William Shakespeare, sonnet number 99. The forward violet, thus did I chide. Sweet thief, whence didst thou steal thy sweet that smells, if not from my love's breath? The purple pride, which on thy soft cheek for complexion dwells, in my love's veins thou hast too grossly dyed. The lily I condemned for thy hand, and buds of marjoram had stolen thy hair. The roses fearfully on thorns did stand, one blushing shame, another white despair. A third, nor red nor white, had stolen of both, and to his robbery had annexed thy breath. But for his theft and pride of all his growth, a vengeful canker eat him up to death. More flowers I noted, yet I none could see. A sweeter color it had stolen from thee. Okay, so thank you for that. Let's move on. Yeah, so that's how William Shakespeare decided to put in a request for ice flowers to be patched into the game. Hundreds of years later, Nintendo still has not listened. Hey, Real Beachin. Thanks for coming by. We're not running as late as usual today, and so I have already just closed up, but appreciate people stopping by to watch anyway. Yeah, I can definitely see how now that timing and positioning off of the cannonball firing is controlled by the invisible blocks. I think I didn't quite trigger that as intended the first time I asked that, in fact, because I wasn't really doing the high bounce on the cannonballs. The fact that both the high bounce and low bounce works on the cannonballs, I think, and works consistently, it's kind of neatly set up. Yeah, if Shakespeare can't change Nintendo, no one can. But you see, back then Shakespeare didn't know to request better features for online play. So yeah, folks, whenever you see me die on that particular segment at the very end before the key door, pay attention to the bloopers and the way they spawn on top of each other from the invisible blocks, because when I die, they blink over each other in a very interesting way. Okay. Okay. Ground pound, and then I needed to jump and ground pound, and I just kind of missed that. We are progressing. Yeah, always appreciate people who are just here to chill. I'm glad that this is interesting enough that it's a good spectator experience, you know, not just for people watching. You see that blooper blinking? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, whoops. Oh, what? Late. Yeah, making decent progress, actually. Whoa, how do we miss? That was... Oh, okay, I think I just kind of slipped on a D-pad and hit a diagonal. That happens sometimes. Yeah, I accidentally hit, like, up left that time. Oh, whoops. Didn't quite bounce on it properly on the way down. Yeah, I feel like I mean, I am kind of doing things as intended probably there, but there's definitely room for optimization in terms of time if I'm, you know, any good at ground pound canceling, which I'm not. Or just doing a straight fall rather than doing a slide everywhere. Oh, whoops. Overshot. Did not need to do that twirl. Yep. There we go. Nope. Just missed a wall jump. Kind of interesting that you have the decorative chomps that are on top of this opening segment here. Maybe they're decorative, maybe they're part of the part 3 setup. But given the length of this segment, hard to tell. Wouldn't have thought so though, given that this is scroll stopped. So yeah, no, the part 3 setup wouldn't do that to get to the flag. Unless it were exploiting the way that scroll stop works when you only build up to the center line. I recently played a puzzle level that actually took advantage of that fact, that like scroll stop actually does apply when you only build the entire level halfway. Because I've seen very little use of that. Like, it's such an edge case mechanic that most people just won't use because they want to use that space. Chomps are just to waste resources because you could, yeah. That's as good a reason as. Always nice when you actually have some entities left over. I find that exceedingly rare whenever I build anything. I don't think I've had a single building experience that wasn't really tight on budget. Yeah, I find that I pretty much always have to worry about entity budget. Okay. Just poor reaction timing on the jumps there. I think the piranha plants on the top level are scaring me a bit. Oops. Yeah, sometimes I just miss the directional input there, but we should be able to get through that pretty much at the 23-second mark every time. Okay, there we go. Very satisfying when I do manage to land that consistently. Nope. Wonder if maybe I should, and I know it's not really marked as spin jump, but I wonder if I should just spin jump to kind of get lower height there, or if the arc won't really work. I mean, realistically, I should probably just follow instructions and, you know, not do that when it's not marked, but refer to what I said earlier about not being good at following instructions. I know, too early. I do need to bounce in that thing first. It really feels like I should not be hugging that second ice wall anyway, and I can just afford to drop down, but... yeah. No, because I do need to, wall jump off of that when I flip the shell. Just do things the way I've been doing it. Had previously been working. Yeah. So we're at 12 seconds at that point. Looks like once we get past that ground pound segment, that's should be fairly close to the end. And no, we don't want to do a spin jump, we just want to do a regular jump off of that. Don't know why I was thinking of hitting the trigger, I should just not be doing that. Just need to clip the shell and immediately get a wall jump off of the right side. And the distance should be quite reliable. Oops. Oh, I know why I was thinking that. It's because of, because the first part requires jump plus twirl. I'm still in jump plus twirl mode. No. Indeed, at that point I'm still kind of holding jump, and that's the problem there. Yeah. I guess I was just kind of subconsciously doing that particular obstacle earlier without really thinking about what inputs I was putting in. And now that's getting me into a ton of trouble. You know, when I'm suddenly conscious of which buttons I am pressing, whereas earlier I didn't really have to think about it, and it was just working. There we go. Yeah, I was clearly spin jumping out of that earlier. Yeah. I feel like I have to jump pretty much as soon as I clip the spiny diagonally. And I'm just late on that. Very, very late. Okay, there we go. Yeah, again, very satisfying to do that. No. Yeah, I actually just need to let up on the jump a little bit, and I should not do like a really ambitious full jump. I'm worried about height. I don't need to ground pound that early. I do need to lower myself from that piranha ceiling. Yeah, pretty fun level though. For hops, yeah, that's right. That has become apparent to me. Just, you know, sort of in the heat of the moment, coming off the slopes, it takes a few attempts to adjust that properly. Okay, just a bit late there. Yeah. Some very unusual setups here all around for a 30-second speedrun. It's kind of nice to have that for a change. You know, when you play a lot of this 30-second stuff or 20-second stuff, or you know that whole genre. After a while, a lot of the setups just kind of blend into each other. But this one with some interesting segments like the hop slide and like the buzzy shell bounce over here keeps things rather interesting. I don't know if there was a reason that you were using Ludwig there specifically. Although Ludwig just has the longest aerial pattern, I guess, when he takes flight off the ground on his own. But I don't know if the choice of Koopaling really matters there in terms of speed that you're going at anyway. It's not like you're going to be firing at you. Nope, too late. Yeah, pretty much need to do a short hop as soon as I make contact. That's pretty much been the limit of my progression so far. Close to the end, though. At least, as far as I can tell from the timer. Oh, you just want to take Ludwig down a peg. Yeah, he's... I mean, I really don't know much about what the Mario fandom likes at any given point, but Ludwig's has always been one of my favorites. Played as Ludwig in Mario Kart for the longest time, actually. Definitely one of my most used characters, and I know he's not really optimal in Mario Kart, that people like the heavies like Morton. You know, if they're good at maintaining top speed. Actually, I haven't played Mario Kart 8 in a while. You know, there's too much else to do on a Switch. And after a while, you don't particularly care about grinding up the endless ladder of points there. But of course, like, I mean, you know, I actually still have to do stuff like 200cc time trials, in fact. It was one of the things that made me sort of re-buy Mario Kart to begin with, even though I already had it on Wii U. But instead, I was thinking, oh, they've got 200cc time trials now. Never got around to doing it. But yeah, just a preposterous amount of stuff to play on the Switch. It is very easily my most used console of all time. By a very large margin. And I guess that's because, you know, Nintendo stuff is just all concentrated on this platform now instead of split over Wii U plus 3DS. Or Wii plus DS before that. But still. Also the fact that, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I used to play on PC that I now play on Switch instead. It comes to things like indie games in particular. So everything's just been concentrated on this one platform. I would really like to beat this. I feel like I'm reasonably close as soon as I clean up that short bounce past the spiny and the slope segment. That's main roadblock for me so far, and the respawns have been very quick, so... Just have to avoid little things like D-pad problems and other input timing problems. And we should be through in no time. Oh no, I missed a repeller. I needed to fall into repeller instead of twirling everywhere of my own volition, and then I need to fall onto the... I need to fire the propeller, fall into the dry bone, fire the propeller again, and that should be fairly close to the end. I just needed to read that for the first time. And I was kind of reactively twirling a lot in a way that was not marked, and which was not to my advantage. Because it just led me to overshoot at the very end. Nope, too soon. Yeah, it feels very dangerous to clip there on that shell prior to the wall jump. Looks like I got that more reliably earlier when I wasn't so self-conscious of the input that was required to do that. Yeah. Okay, there we go again. Bounce. Very rhythmic. Nope. Somehow just hit the wrong jump that time. I was thinking too far ahead. My mind was already on the short hops over to Spinies later, and so I wasn't quite paying attention. Okay. Make it through. Whoops. Yeah, that's going to kill me on a timer anyway to do an early jump like that. Okay. It's feeling pretty clean so far. Nope. Reacted poorly to the arrow, even though we got it the first time. Time's up. Oh, wow. Don't know what I can optimize there. I mean, faster on the last ground pound, I guess. Yeah, faster on the last ground pound. It seems like this drop over here can be cleaned up as well onto the shell. But I do need the wall jump in order to get back onto shell. Yeah, I feel like it's actually largely the propeller segment at the end and the ground pound that I clean up, but I just wasn't watching the timer at all, so... Had some issues there for sure. Just thinking about what we can optimize. Like, this is a fairly obvious spot, but I don't want to fool around with it too much yet, given how much trouble we've had with it. I think it's just a faster read on the propeller ground pound at the very end. It's going to help quite a bit. Faster wall jumps in general will also help. Whoops, I just missed. Yeah, just the ending of my drop was a bit slow, yeah. I reacted poorly to that. I was still reading a lot of positioning on the first time, for the first time past the pressing of the P-switch. Like, I was being a bit cautious about giving myself enough room to get over after the P-switch. So that was definitely one of the issues. But I can definitely see how the world record shaved like a second off the clock. In terms of what kind of flexibility is available to crunch the time a bit. Oh, it came in a bit low. I knew as soon as I got the propeller there that I was going to be a bit late there on that attempt. Like, it just didn't feel right. Oh. Getting closer. Getting closer. And here we go. Nope, too high. Too high and too soon. Slightly overcompensating for that now, even though we had a few good attempts. Getting past the Spinies. Yeah. I like how quickly I can progress through many segments at a time when I do get past some of the roadblocks, and just kind of prove that a lot of this is very readable blind. I mean, most of this level is very readable blind. Like, sometimes I just need to, you know, kind of keep my inputs under control when nothing is telling me to whirl or spin jump. We'll just push through here. Nope, too soon. That muncher at the bottom always looks very threatening. React to it a little too soon every time. Nope. Yeah. I think whenever it comes to launching things by falling gently into them, I tend to have some timing issues. In terms of knowing when it's going to clip and being able to feel that impact. Okay. Move through and oh. Nice quick wall jumps to buy some time. There. Well, thanks for that. Yeah, very nice. Very unique. 0.5 off the world record. I can definitely see why. Like, the little bits that can be optimized, I think, are fairly clear. Yeah, thank you for that, as always, Rammers. Good to play that one. Yeah, I thought I had seen this come up earlier for some reason. So maybe it was a re-upload, but I mean, it was my first time playing it, obviously. But we kept our head down, and we got it. I think DD might have left us a while ago, so we're going to skip. DD, you want to check in, though, and correct us on that score? So then welcome to you. Yeah, well, the timing feels pretty good at this point, like, in terms of how fixable things are and how readable they are blind, you know, in terms of being able to take in big chunks of the level all at once. 0.8. Yeah, it's going to be 0.8. Like, there are certain things that... it actually doesn't feel that difficult, like, when you think about it segment by segment. I can definitely see the drop onto the Buzzy Shell being a bit of an issue, and also just the twirl check at the very start being an issue for a lot of players. That, you know, you would have a lot of, even from players who are good, like, you would have a lot of deaths early just from being careless about that specific spot, and that's, you know, the very first jump in the level, right? It's not that it's hard, it's more that it's very easy to die there carelessly. Yeah, Mr. Lesser, hope you are enjoying that as well. Awesome Lamp. I definitely saw you around. Why don't we take a look at yours? Yeah, 9TC. R18. DXG. Yeah, I think the twirl check at the very start is a very good idea. Like, you definitely don't want players to run into that for the first time when they are doing the falling along the ice wall segment, right? Like, you want them to be completely prepared for the jump and twirl timing at that point. Use 2 Yoshis to solve this puzzle. Double trouble. Okay. Okay, nice tight one-screen puzzle again. That's something that will do. Reach the goal while holding a POW block. Yeah, let's see how this one goes. Okay, so see what comes out of here. That's one Yoshi. An egg. Okay, so we actually need to be holding the POW. We can't just use it. It doesn't necessarily need to be that POW though, does it? Like, it looks like the left arrow is indicating something about the direction of the thwomp. The thwomp, of course, is killable with the on-off switch. Looks like there's going to be some muncher locking regardless. Anyway, let's just explore a bit. This is going to be a reset door, almost certainly. And this is going to let Yoshi get through to the other side, maybe. Drop him. Okay, that's going to take out the POW block. I don't know if that's a good idea, but we'll check that anyway. Okay, so something gets lifted here. And yeah, actually no, if we lift Yoshi up there somehow, we can use Yoshi to swallow the key, right? Except we need 2 Yoshis. This is why we need 2 Yoshis. However, we can just spawn an egg, can we? Yeah. However, we needed to preserve the... Oh, that was a mistake. I didn't want to do that. That's fine, everything reset. I would need to get through to the munchers anyway, so... Actually, no, this is fine. This is fine because I can grab the second POW. I think. Get rid of this. Yeah, there's going to be something that goes on later with the trampoline. Probably Yoshi's Wall as well. I feel like they're... I mean, I know that you want to make everything compact on one screen. I feel like putting a reset door like right under where I'm likely to peek upward is maybe a risk factor, but... Try to dump Yoshi along a trajectory like what we had last time. How do I even do that? I did something to get him through. Yeah, I don't even know how I did that last time. But... Anyway, but clearly I need to do something to get Yoshi through here. Let's explore this side. That's gonna be some kind of object to throw towards the on-off switch. I got some keys going there. Key door would give you progression that goes up to this jump block. For some reason you've never seen this clear condition. Heh, Rammers. You have not seen the first level that I made in this game. The very first thing I made in Super Mario Maker 2 was a rescue to POW level. And of course it was an extremely long level that, because of the clear condition, had no checkpoints, and it was very much a love-hate experience for people, I think, in terms of, you know, whether they were okay with the fact that there was no checkpoint, because it kind of needed to be perfect about preserving the POW. But yeah, I am all too familiar with this condition. Okay, looks like we'll need to do another Yoshi drop, I think. Yeah, but the issue, once again, is very easy to just get an accidental up input to reset the doors. We might want to reset doors at some point anyway. Yeah, once the on-off switch has been toggled, we use the reset door because then the POW is accessible without the risk of the Thwomp destroying it. And that's how we do it. Okay. So... the question is how we activate the on-off. Let's grab a Yoshi and grab the trampoline, and then we'll find that out very quickly. Clear condition while holding something? Yeah, that's... you can do that. I mean, so long as you spawn the objects in the level themselves. I'm surprised you wouldn't know that. You've done a lot of this game as a maker, so... it does surprise me that you wouldn't be aware of that. Okay. How do we get rid of the on-off switch? It seems like it would be dependent on... like, what would hit the on-off switch? Because it wouldn't be the Yoshi egg. Wouldn't really necessarily be... like, it wouldn't be the trampoline. Like, the trampoline wouldn't make a hard impact. Wouldn't be the munchers, because we can't actually move the munchers. Yeah, need to think very carefully about like how the on-off will actually hit. Wouldn't have thought that it's Yoshi moving on it. Like, it's kind of like you need to like spit out a bomb or something, or have the trampoline push some objects through here. The other thing is that we haven't really made use of this reset door here, so... nor have we made use of the fact that I can move the trampoline over here. We can spawn a second egg. And we spawn additional eggs. No, I didn't think so. It's a limit 2 Yoshis and no egg spawns after that. So let me think about how I can do this. Yeah, because the on-off toggle is the thing that is the unsolved problem. Not really sure. We haven't checked whether this pipe is actually accessible at all. It isn't. Didn't think so. On-off switch. Ah, it could be that there is some kind of... no, it wouldn't be an invisible block. We would have seen that already. We can get a trampoline in position. Oh, you know what? Here's an idea. Let's get a trampoline somehow up through the top side here. Now, how would I do that? Because if Yoshi is on the left, it's not going to be quite it. Feels like something needs to be pushed through here or thrown through here. And it could be the trampoline itself, but I somehow doubt it. Oh, whoops. That was a mistake. Didn't want to do that. Reach the goal while holding the POW block. Yeah. So yeah, the on-off toggle is the current roadblock. 2 seconds left. Yeah, we'll have to die and do this. That's okay. That was kind of a first exploration attempt. Okay, so we see POW blocks, we see munchers. Now, important to note that this muncher will respawn even after we have the on-off toggle. Done everything up to getting to the other side so far. Let's do this first. Give this a second to get the key. Oops. There we go. No, not quite. Oh, there we go. Nice little push. Oh, interesting that you can kind of push Yoshi like that. I feel like that might be relevant, potentially. You can do a little push. Yeah, push. Oh, that's a mistake. We don't want to do it. But yeah, that's much better than trying to do a side drop like what we were doing. We should use push for Yoshi. Okay. Let's get another one. Oops. Oh. There we go. Grab the key. Yeah, it definitely feels like there's something that we can do with moving the trampoline over to the top spot. Just by more Yoshi manipulation. Okay, so why don't we push one? One of them over. There we go. And we got them both over. That's okay, it'll have to be reset anyway. Okay. Go. Yeah, we'll need to swallow it from the other side for sure. Okay. So now we grab the other one. Oh, come on, Yoshi. Out of here. Yeah, so I want to get this guy up to the top side. Come on. Feels like I would have appreciated one extra pile there just to get the Yoshi drop there. Work out a little more easily. We'll give him a push. There we go. And we'll see if the spit would work through here. No. However, you drop on that tile and then you can come through here. Yeah. And then you can do the spit. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Come on. This felt like it needed an extra tile. But just to get that to be a little less fussy. Unless there's an easier method that I'm just not seeing. I can use the fact that the dismount in this game is a little bit backwards. Okay. Okay. No, I pushed the other Yoshi. Bad. Yeah, this... Yeah, I'm not too fond of the Yoshi drop here. Like, I know it's part of the solution, but it's a very fussy part of the solution to execute. Okay, this is a problem because we have the other Yoshi trapped on this side now. I think I need to start over. Easier method is spitting a Yoshi egg through there? Okay, I didn't think about that. I think I just wasn't really thinking about using the Yoshi egg as something swallowable. Yeah, actually, I just never considered swallowing the Yoshi egg as part of the solution. That's a very good point. And, oh, we already got a key interaction, so what am I doing? Why am I doing this whole thing? Yeah, no, I forgot the fact that we already had the key. That's fine. We'll push. We'll just grab the trampoline again, and we'll just redo this. Okay, there we go. Good to have a review of some of those Yoshi mechanics. I feel like I haven't really played like any kind of complex Yoshi level in a while. Spitting an egg through there wouldn't help you get the trampoline through, though. Unless you just spit the trampoline through as well, of course. Yeah, why don't I just do that? Okay, there we go. Okay. No. Okay. No, missed a jump. Keep missing the jump input. And there we are, back to doing that. Yeah, it feels like using Yoshi to transport other eggs is something we should know. Why am I missing that? Ah, okay. Alright, fine. We'll just go over and retrieve that. Feels like that should be doable. We need to reset this anyway. Okay. We need to reset this. Won't really have time to finish it on this attempt. Anyway, you see what I'm trying to do. I am trying to get the trampoline over to the middle. But then I'm not sure why I'm doing that anyway, because the trampoline will just kind of get trapped under the on-off, right? Like, I'm thinking about what could possibly be the on-off switch activation, and... Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I need to get an egg up there, don't I? But then I don't have an up throw, and so... Okay, no, I see. Get a trampoline up here, spit a Yoshi egg on top of it. Yoshi egg gets under the on-off block, the spawn hits the on-off, and then that kind of gets access to the POW. Yeah. So I need to do this whole segment first, just to... You know what? Why don't I just use the throw? Okay, no, this is silly. This is silly. I'm thinking about it completely wrong. I'll just use the up throw from Mario. I don't need to do all that stuff. Okay. Just nuke this first of all. Then... Yeah, no, I was thinking about that completely wrong. Okay. Yeah, I could just use an up throw here instead of trying to do the whole run around. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Particularly with the 2-tile height that I have here. Okay. Let's not knock both Yoshis over. Yeah, Luigi, yeah. I know what you mean. Okay. Okay. Here's how we're gonna do it. I do still need to get... Oh, come on. Let me dismount. The dismount physics in Maker are very weird. They're not the same dismount physics as how Super Mario World worked, and that always throws me off in terms of collision. Okay, we need to get this guy up, and then we need to get a Yoshi up, which is a problem because we... need to get both a trampoline and a Yoshi in place. Issue is I want to spit an egg on top of this. And I'm not sure how to do that yet. Because trampoline is required to get up there. Could always be I do need to do that looping structure anyway to get Yoshi to kind of look around properly. It's gonna take a little bit of thought. Yeah, because I was definitely thinking like that. Dump an egg on top of the trampoline would be it. But then I need to figure out some way to get Yoshi there when I only have one Yoshi? I can do that, actually. No, I can't do it like that. Hang on. I just need to get Yoshi to bounce up first. Okay. No, I can't do that, because I need to swallow the egg, and then get up there. Then what? Now, there's a very specific sequence that I need in order to get both a Yoshi holding an egg and the trampoline up here. But that's clearly the solution though, right? Like, that has to be. I can get a trampoline up here. I can get a Yoshi up here using the trampoline. Can I get a Yoshi up here that's holding something in its mouth, and then can I follow it up afterwards? That's the issue I have. And I'm not clear that I can. No hint yet. Thanks for the offer, but I'm still thinking about this. Okay. Can get Yoshi up there. Then what? Wait, Yoshi's holding the egg in his mouth. While Yoshi is holding the egg in his mouth, I can probably spawn another egg. Can I? Yes. Yes, I can. Okay, now we're set. Now we are totally set. Up this Yoshi. Come on. Go. Next thing is... Of that. Next thing. Hang on, let's be careful here. No, I don't want to knock that Yoshi over. No. Not enough room to move, but that's what a one-screen puzzle does to you. Okay. Hang on, no, I know the solution now, I just want to have a clean slate. Yeah, the fact that I can have the 2 eggs alive at once, one inside Yoshi's mouth and one newly hatched, seems to be the answer here. But yeah. Glad I didn't take that hint. I think we have it. Okay. Yeah. No. The dismount in this game is sometimes kind of painful. Okay. Got this at least. And then... Okay, that's good. Yeah. Pretty nice puzzle, though. Okay. So, let's position things such that we try to minimize fuss. We will do that. We'll get Yoshi to swallow an egg. Okay, we gotta move this Yoshi here. No. Let me dismount. Okay. Next thing we'll do is we'll definitely move that up. Spawn second Yoshi. And... yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we spit on top of this. No. Oh, okay. The spit position was wrong. That's fine. This is easily fixed. God, the dismount. Yeah, the dismount in this game is kind of dreadful. It's okay. We'll try to get that. Yeah, dismount without a direction just sends you backwards. And now we have 2 Yoshis alive, so okay. That's a problem because the egg's not going to spawn. I should have kept the trampoline in my mouth before doing that. It's okay. We'll just redo this segment. Okay. Nope. Alright. You know what? Insulate. Yeah. The puzzle solution is great. The actual mechanics of executing it, for reasons that are not your fault and which are outside your control, are extremely fuzzy, and that's just because the Yoshi dismount in Maker 2 is kind of terrible all around. So. And this is not the first level where I've had that problem. I've had that issue with Yoshi levels before, for sure. And part of it is because I'm so used to the way it works in Super Mario World, where you just kind of jump straight off. And here you just kind of collide with everything and bump your head on everything. It's kind of a nightmare. Okay. Yeah, I can see why you would have had a lot of fun making this puzzle. It is a fun puzzle, sure. Okay, down we go. Back to the other side. Yeah, I think I am correct about the general shape of the solution, though. I think I am reading it correctly. But yeah, the fact that you can just bump Yoshi just by nudging him like that is not always great. Okay, let's swallow an egg. This must come first. This comes second. And then I need to give myself enough room to place the spring. Okay, then I grab another Yoshi. Jump up there. And then I need to not blow the egg throw, which, you know, is what it is. Oh, and of course Yoshi's gonna just... Okay. Let me just get off of that. Yeah. Well, the last time the issue was that it bumped against this thing here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's a pain. We'll reset here. Let me just try to find a faster way to reset that, and yeah, that seems to work. Seems to be the fastest way to reset it is to swallow the trampoline and then drop it. Okay, swallow the egg. Yeah, hey DI Progan, thanks for dropping by. Okay. Leave him here. And we just have to do this spitting accuracy challenge a couple times until we get it right. And then, of course, meanwhile, Yoshi's just going to move on us, right? And so, there we go. I feel like I needed to do the high spit. I've been doing the low spit, and that's a terrible idea. I need to do the high spit. Okay. Let me think. Okay, let's reset. Yeah, at least this is kind of like a midpoint reset in a way, where if I keep the trampoline, at least all I need to do is repeat that one interaction. So if I reset carefully, I don't need to worry too much about redoing stuff. Okay. Everything's fine here. Okay. I feel like I need to nudge that. Yeah. I do think the entry point here is a little bit execution dependent. It may just be that I don't understand the various spit mechanics well enough. Yeah, you see? Too far left that time. I have to redo it. Oh, and of course that Yoshi's just on the wrong side now. Fine. That's fine. Let's reset with this guy. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like the reliability of that mechanic is a little bit of an issue, just when it bumps on a bottom corner like that. I don't know if there's a better way to do it. You know, like maybe if you had a row of 3 on switches on top of the bumper and just had like a 3-tile gap to make that interaction possible, that would feel much better. But I know you're very cramped for space, and you would need to avoid any kind of other exploitation that might result from the placement that, or any other kind of locking that would result from not having the bumper defended with the ground blocks in quite the same setup. I was not paying attention. Do this. Yeah, but I feel like maybe the 1-tile accuracy on the on switch is part of the issue here, simply because, you know, the spit distance is not going to feel very reliable. But I'll just do it. And then I still have a limited amount of time left to actually go back and grab the POW afterwards. But like, I feel like I've had the actual, you know, puzzle solving part of the solution down for quite a while now. It's just like missing the egg over and over again. It's so tight because it's not the intended solution. Seriously? Really? Well, I'm gonna try it anyway, because, like, it feels like it should work. Not the intended solution. What, do I just... Okay. We can do that too. I mean, sure, we'll do that. I don't mind. What is it with you people and trying to do things the easy way? Like, anyway, that's why I decline hints, so I can entertain you all with stuff like that. And it's funny, that's not even the first thing in the level that was kind of big braining. Like, if you saw me try to do the second loop with the Yoshis on the left earlier to try to go from one donut block to the other instead of just throwing the trampoline up. That, mind you, that would have been a pretty spectacular solution. I know that the Yoshi hatching mechanics are kind of different between this and how they were in Mario Maker 1, so I guess the hatching probably wouldn't have activated the switch to begin with, because I'm thinking about how the hatching activated jump blocks. Yeah, no, that was the interaction I had in mind, was the Yoshi egg triggering jump blocks, which in Maker 1 anyway was required to do a whole bunch of really interesting setups. But anyway, thank you for putting up with that, folks. That was probably very hard to watch. Yeah, the Yoshi hatching wouldn't activate the switch. I am definitely thinking about a jump blocks. But, you know, I try stuff. When I'm not 100% sure, I try stuff. And that's what happens. Okay, Electro Dude. Well, thank you for relinquishing your sub-next privileges so we can see some of that other stuff ahead of time, but I will now see what I can do with whichever levels we haven't cleared. I might just put some attempts on the shell level again, actually, since we're still working on it. I don't know that I'll necessarily stay that long on it simply because we are running so late. Yeah, it would have been pretty funny if it didn't work. I mean, you know, if I had a trampoline up there anyway and I tried the Yoshi shell solution and I got the Yoshi to hatch, I'm sure that literally the next thing I would have tried would be to just throw the trampoline up. But it's one of those things where, you know, like, I think I just don't do that very often, like throwing the trampoline up into the switches. Yeah. So Electro, yeah, just in the interest of time, I'm probably not going to stay on it too long, but I do want to try to progress past where we were before, while this is still at least somewhat fresh. And by somewhat fresh, I mean I have to kind of get the shell jump out of my system. Yeah. Because we progressed all the way to the spiny shell last time, I think. Okay, there we go. And fall in, get over to Skull, get onto the mole. Yeah, that's right. No, I need to really full jump into that release. That's... like I'm saying, I'm not somebody who has like the correct shell jump habit of holding the jump into the shell release. I need to learn how to do that in order to kind of get this setup working properly. Yeah, this is a really neat level from a setup perspective. Particularly when you get into the spike balls destroying the bottom path. Nope, missed. And yeah, those of you still in queue after this, thank you so much for your patience. Since you've been sticking around the whole time. Still thinking about that previous level and how, like, in the end, the fact of getting 2 active eggshells, like one in Yoshi's mouth and one coming down the pipe, wasn't actually relevant to the solution at all. Was it? But it feels exactly like the kind of thing that should have been relevant in that level, and so that's what was throwing me off. Like the fact that you could get 2 shells. 2 eggshells. Oops. Like, that's got some puzzle potential, I think, that has been untapped. You know, doing the eggshell priority, in spite of the fact that it is kind of order dependent. Nope, getting a bit too close there. Yeah, that might be interesting. Okay, getting a little tight around that spike. Because I like the generous, you know, free tile hit zone on the shell throw here, just to have a nice error margin for the shell throw, but at the same time I wonder if, like, 2 on-off switches plus 1 spike on top would have felt easier, because you would still have, like, a 2-switch hit zone, you know, to keep things relaxed, but maybe less of a hard constraint on the arc coming out of that shell. I don't know. I wonder how that would have been tuned. Or I can just, you know, actually just jump over it the way I'm supposed to. Okay, yeah, I trust that you kind of tested it for a while and got the tuning to be just right. Yeah, it's very clear to me after seeing that shell throw just now that I was just much too late on throwing shell previously, and so now I got that a little bit better. Yeah, that's a lot better now, actually. Oh, didn't expect to survive that attempt. Yeah, I really do need to do the shell throws on the way up, and the Koopa shell throws, rather, on the way up. And that makes things a lot easier. Very clear that it's how it's supposed to be tuned. So yeah, just gotta clean some of this stuff up and hopefully progress past our previous limit. Was, I think, just a little bit past the spiny shell. And it's just a level that's just gonna take a lot of work. I'm getting better at that shell jump, at least. Yeah. That release is not so great. But I just need to learn it. I was way under the marker, for sure. Way under the marker. I'm giving myself a little bit too much room on that. I'll jump now. Okay, not enough height there. Again, just need a higher release. I see markers on the lower Goombas, so I assume that's where I need to fall next. Just kind of crash against the blaster to do a straight fall. One tile to the right of that ground column. Okay, that was feeling a bit low anyway, so... Okay. Yeah, because that is going to crush the brick under the blaster. Blaster is going to drop, but then we mostly use it to brace ourselves on the way down. It does mean there's a requirement to spawn that spike ball in order to proceed. Nope. Isn't reacting to my own release on that second red shell. That's something we can just clean up with time. Oops. What was this, like 0.3% or something? That's about right. Oh, wasn't reacting to that properly, but I don't think I've seen that very much. I might have only seen that segment like maybe once or twice before. I wasn't really expecting a shell release up top. Yeah, 0.3, close enough. I mean, there are a lot of players that will just never really get past these early shell jumps anyway, and so the fact that I can do them is already progress. Yeah, the spiny shell must absolutely hit the question block in order to drop the blaster and proceed. Let's see that now. That needs to be on target. This guy up here doesn't need to be on target. This Buzzy shell does not really need to hit the question block. There's guidance. But spiny shell does need it. So it kind of prepares you for that shot accuracy. Yeah, double bounce out that Goomrat stack on the right side. Definitely took me by surprise. I had to really react to that by instinct. Okay, here we go. Okay, no, I need to release. When I release in that point, the red shell is going to hit the question block that's to the right of the arrow, but I need to fall to the right somehow. I don't know where my next landing zone is. I don't think I've actually seen that accurately yet. Nope, hesitated a bit there. Yeah, no, I see how that Thwomp setup works now in terms of projecting the second Goomrat upwards. Kind of wondering what that interaction was coming from, and I hadn't really had a chance to read the seesaw setup properly up until now. That shell jump is the hardest one at a level? Yeah, I can imagine so. But, I mean, I haven't seen much of the level, so I can't really say, but... Yeah, I'm just reacting poorly to where my falling arc is supposed to be. I see that there is the vertical track that is placed directly over the arrow, and maybe I should be aiming for that, like if that's supposed to be the falling marker, and I can see why you would use that as the falling marker, as opposed to, say, something like a coin trail that the shell would cut right through. So I guess I just need to hold right. Need to release and just hold right. Trust that the hit is going to work. I mean, that's not something I can plan, I just need to trust the timing and find what works. But hey, I've actually progressed forward in this level already relative to last time, and so pretty satisfied with that. Crack actually is for something else, but it lines up anyway. Well, you know, nice to have something that's dual purpose. Because you can use it as a marker to disguise the fact that it's actually a mechanism, or vice versa. Okay. A little bit off. But I definitely had the right idea. Yeah, this has been going pretty smoothly, actually, relative to previous sessions. So yeah. Even if I don't finish it today, you know, it's nice to see that I'm actually learning this a piece at a time. Much better than just being very, very stuck. Although, who knows about that big shell drop that's coming up. Nope, too far. But yeah, I feel like the early jumps are working out far better than they used to. This one in particular. This first one with the shell deflection. I don't know what changed in terms of how I'm reading that. But really does feel like it's going better. And fixing the shell release timings, once I understood what I was doing wrong here, the red Koopa shells, that seems to have permitted a great deal of progress as well. Oh no, shouldn't have hugged that right away. I really did need to get the second Goomrat bounce before I decided to hold right. Practice makes perfect? It also makes spaghetti. But, you know. And that, I think, tends to be the outcome in Mario Maker is perfect spaghetti. Nope. Anyway, glad we're gradually chipping away at this. Sometimes I worry that, you know, kind of taking a break from a level and going back just breaks the flow too much to get back into the mechanics. That was just a late release. I actually need a slightly earlier release, and then I avoid the hit. And again, fixing the release timings on the Koopas in terms of understanding how early to do it has already paid off in some respects. Oops. We'll just get that. So yeah, the kind of changes to how we're doing the queuing in terms of both subs and worlds. We're just going to trial that for the next week or so. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, like, we don't have enough subs to really have any big noticeable changes anymore, but I think it's going to be a noticeable change in terms of how we handle the world submissions. And, oh, we just missed. We don't need to hit that question block because it's not going to spawn anything interesting anyway, unless it's something that's winged. Yeah. And we'll, like, there's a lot of stuff in this channel that I want to kind of get in order before YMM gets underway. We may get a channel Discord up if there's interest. I don't know, because I know people on Mario Maker Discord tend to be on too many channels already, including myself. But just, you know, to get people on board with the scheduling and the policy changes and so on, and make sure everything's properly discussed. And, yeah, so I've just been sort of doing so many hero level streams. There we go, just a marker. That, haven't really been working on the kind of management of the stream itself for the last little while, so we want to spend some time to make some improvements. Partly because I've, you know, gotten a chunk of level making out of the way and I can actually think about this stuff now. Yeah, I'll definitely be playing them all, and of course, knowing me, like, I'll definitely be trying to do secret routes and everything. If I can. I know that some of the makers, like, are definitely closer to the super expert side, even though it's, you know, definitely not a Kaizo project. You definitely have some super expert makers who are reliably under 1%. But, you know, I want to take my time with those, and I want to give them a nice focused effort. Yeah, I have been telling people sort of on my end as well that I've wanted to make a recommendation list for a long time. Particularly because, you know, people coming to this stream have showed me so much good stuff. Some of it's very underplayed. But, you know, it just takes a while to really scrape codes and put that together. Although mostly I can just scrape my followed list for that, which has become massive. Yeah. I mean, there's just so much variety in this game in terms of the niches that people can fall into in terms of their preferred makers and preferred styles, that I think it's very difficult to make any kind of recommendation list for somebody unless you kind of have a very precise idea of what they like. And of course, you know, it's a bit circular because they need to play a lot of levels to determine what they like and give a lot of things a chance. But yeah, I feel like playing fewer levels has actually made me more open-minded about styles of levels in Mario Maker rather than less. I mean, I know some people really kind of see it as more of a clarifying experience for knowing that they really don't like certain levels, like, you know, people who, you know, become a bit more set in their opinions, but I found that I've been giving stuff a chance that I usually wouldn't, or wouldn't have done so before. And that goes for both style and difficulty. Okay, I bounce on that, and then what? I don't see what's next. Because I got the low bounce. I didn't see what was actually going on after that. Then, mole below. Okay. I think I just didn't see that. Yeah, I mean, I was seeing it for the first time, so I just hadn't read that properly yet. Okay. Felt a little off-center the whole time there. I'll try to get back to that spot and see how we do. Feels like my consistency in the early segments has really gone up quite a bit. Like, this has been very meaningful progress relative to the last time I was playing this. Okay, there we go. Ah, I see the mole below. Wait. Oh, I see. I bopped the shell, I landed a mole to pick up the shell? Or... yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, I just didn't see the mole the first time. So, I realized that was going to be a double bounce. How did I... oh, that was interesting. That was different. I got past that with a bit of an conventional landing on the fuzzy shell rather than the red shell. Or... oh, no, it's red that. Yeah, I mean, I only really hang out on other viewer level streams very seriously when I'm also kind of producing something new, which is not that often, just as a matter of time. Like, I'll hang out with some people that I know well who are regulars who come by here, and some people who are kind of in the YMM group, like Julian and Paxman and such, right? But, yeah, I missed a shell up top, yeah. Like, I feel like, you know, that whether you get garbage or not from submitters is going to depend a lot on, you know, what kinds of makers are kind of encouraged to stick around on your stream, right? Like if you take a certain approach to levels, like your attitude towards those levels when you play them on stream is going to affect who comes back and who continues to submit. So, like the fact that I will spend time on puzzles, for instance, means that people will stick around and give me more puzzles, and that's kind of true of trolls as well, even though trolls are kind of hit and miss with me. But like the fact that I don't rage at troll levels, right? Like it's going to change the kind of troll levels I receive. Like it's going to give me more of the, you know, mechanics-oriented ones rather than the ones that are just supposed to kill you all the time. And the fact that I don't really do like pixel precision levels for very long is going to affect the fact that I will not necessarily get those. When you're creating your puzzles, when you're playing your absolutely speed, yeah, I can tell. Although it's kind of funny because like it seems like most of the levels that I have played from you are either like they're very momentum oriented or they are things like Bullet Hell that have timer locks, right? But then they would probably feel very much like puzzles in terms of the actual construction. Just that they're very speedy when you play them. Okay, I'm just going to spend a few more attempts on this because I feel like we've made very good progress. And program you speed and puzzles, yeah. I hadn't read that whole message yet earlier in the conversation. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, the fact that I talk about mechanics is definitely going to give me a different sort of personality of viewers as well. Because it's like there are definitely streams that are much more competitively minded, I think, in terms of being about, like, I can play hard stuff, send me hard stuff, and I'll try to beat it. And or, you know, which is fair if you want to really show off stuff that is a spectator experience that people feel like they can't do themselves. Some streams I think are much more, you know, personality oriented in terms of, like, they work much more like reaction videos. And I do think that, like, that's definitely a thing that some makers who submit want to get, right? Like, if they're not submitting for playtesting, if they're not submitting to kind of do a quality check or whatever, then one of the things they might be trying to get out of the experience is to get a reaction video. And of course, it's not mutually exclusive. Like, we're all looking for reactions as well as testing, right? But it kind of depends on what you prioritize when you are a maker who is submitting. But I definitely feel like, especially with people who send a lot of trolls and such, that some of them really are kind of looking for a reaction video and, you know, trying to get somebody to rage so they can clip it. Which is not really going to be the case, you know, everybody's playstyle. I missed a shell. And yeah, I think with puzzles, it is a good idea to ask them in advance, because, like, I've definitely found some streamers where, you know, they just have no patience for even... they can be very good players, but they just have no patience for anything that involves a puzzle, and so it's just not worth it to wait for them to play, right? Because when they do play it, they're just going to rage a lot and be very impatient and get frustrated when they have to redo anything. And I find it can be a very unpleasant experience quite quickly. like even when I was sending the Goomba level around, which was not really puzzly, like, that seemed to go over really well with streamers for the most part, but definitely had one or two people who were like, they just want the adrenaline of playing something that's very thrilling and which has tons of movement. As you can see, it's really not my playstyle. I mean, I enjoyed this one a lot. Like, this one is kind of reaction-oriented, but it's also reaction-oriented in a way that has lots of mechanical interactions for me to kind of stare at and think about, right? But basically, what my point is, like, you folks are around a lot. You know how slowly I usually play when it comes to trying to read the mechanics of a level. Nocturo's followed Maker List. Do I know who Nocturo is? It's a big Korean streamer, right? Or... yeah. Yeah, like, I keep weird enough hours that occasionally I'm on when, like, the Mario Maker list is, you know, mostly Korean, so I thought I recognized who Nocturo was. Oh, glad to hear they actually enjoy your stuff and to spread that around. No, I just missed. I needed to hit that block. You never feel as judgmental as when you find a new streamer to watch? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I found some really good streamers that were new to me when I submitted my last one. Partly because, like, I hadn't really submitted viewer levels for several months prior to that point, because I just hadn't finished anything for a while, and there's been a lot of turnover since the early months of the game in terms of who was active. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of turnover in a few months. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'll still be doing this in a few months. I would like to, but, like, very possible that life could just kind of get in the way, right? And so, like, the streamers come and go, and you have some that are constant, and you have some who used to do viewer levels, but now they're kind of too big for that, and so they just do, like, I don't know, whatever it is they prefer, like if they actually, for some reason, prefer Endless or Versus or stuff like that. I could not see myself preferring to do, like, Versus or Endless streaming rather than viewer level streaming. I think viewer level streaming is much more rewarding. But then again, it's because, as you said, like, I get quality levels from people. Like, I get a lot of serious makers. Oh, okay, shell jump up to the falling platform. I could not have guessed that. And I noticed that I actually got that far at that time, despite also blowing the Red Koopa setup earlier and using the fuzzy shell. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of interesting to, you know, if your level has sort of a manageable enough pace of plays that you can kind of check it every now and then to see who has cleared it lately, and you can kind of recognize some of the names, it is kind of interesting to see who comes up sometimes. I know, for instance, that, like, I know Orator has only played one of my levels in this game, and it's because he actually did run into it in Endless, and he, and he booed it. But, you know, it was kind of interesting to see his name come up and, kind of notice that, and then comb through his sort of week of videos before that point to try to look at the playtests so I could just kind of see some footage. It was the first one I built. It belongs in a museum, which is the really long how clear condition one that does not have a checkpoint. And Aura was actually very good at that level. Like, he nailed it in 3 attempts, but they were long attempts, and he actually booted before he was finished, and then he finished it, and chat seemed to like it a lot better, to be honest. But it's exactly the kind of level where I would not expect him to like it, just given his playstyle. Like, I would not have tried to send that to him on his viewer night, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna try to get one more good attempt over to that falling platform setup, just to see if I can get on top of that. And then I'm gonna bail on this one for now. But I feel like I've made substantial progress on this one tonight. So. Might even take only maybe one more session to finish this, 1 or 2. Like, it really feels like it's in my control now in a way that was not clear to me last time I played this. Yeah. Yeah, Real Beachin, I feel like I've become more generous about likes than I used to be. I was very, very stingy about likes when I wasn't streaming, partly because I was kind of using likes as a bit of a soft bookmark system, and because things get pushed off your page so quickly, I wouldn't like things unless I really wanted to go back to dig up the codes. But now that I have recorded footage, like, it's much easier for me to go back to the things that I really, really like and actually save the codes. And, you know, not worry about the fact that I had played something 3 or 4 months ago. And so now, you know, I feel like I'm sometimes too nice to people about likes. Like, there's a lot of stuff where I hit like and I realize, you know what, I only did that to be polite. But I think it's fairly clear when I actually do enjoy something. You know. Okay, I gotta bail on this one for now. But, thank you again, Electrodude. It was really good to make it much further in this. I felt like we had a breakthrough this time around. And I'm just kind of looking at the map here to see... Okay, so there's the Pokestack. That's actually just about halfway, the Pokestack. So I'm still quite far from the end, but if that is the hardest shell jump in the level, like, the thing feels under control now, right? Like, it feels like something I can eventually do, given another session or two and a really concentrated effort. Like, the tech is in my hands. So, hey, Real Beachin, have a good night. Okay, Mr. Lesser, which believes you are still here. Might want to confirm that, but in the meantime, we'll pull up the code. Super new and shouldn't take me long. Great, okay. Traditional level, don't mess up. You haven't seen me play traditional levels much, but I do tend to mess them up. 0.33, which for a traditional level is low, but on a fairly low sample of players, I think. So we'll see how we do. For something branded as traditional, that is low. Okay. That's gonna be kind of timing based. Oh, whoops. Slipped off the diagonal there. That does tend to happen to us. And then what? Key-switch activation somewhere? Not sure I like the Bowser off-screen thing here. Okay. So you need to hit that twice. Interesting. P-jump. Okay. Oops. What's that? Yeah, I don't think the double hit on the on-off is that intuitive. Yeah. Alright, let's do this anyway. Yeah, I guess the Bowser setup here is probably too close. I don't know that I actually like that Bowser is able to hit you from that screen. You kind of started this Python program that is going to be a little RPG game. Okay. Oh, like a text adventure. Like a MUD, like a multi-user dungeon. Electrodude, you might actually be too young to remember this, but so the precursor to they were basically text-based MMOs. They were pretty much exactly like MMOs, except they were text-based, and they were like a pretty big thing when I was, you know, playing PC games early on. Yeah, just like a MUD in relation to like role-playing games. But yeah, the idea would that, you know, you'd log into the persistent world in a terminal screen, and literally exactly like an MMO. Like people would form guilds. You would have some pretty big collaborative bosses that were essentially raids, and there were some really good MUD development engines back in the day, like engines that you could just mod into your own MUD if you wanted to just put in a map layout. And also, like, you know, it would be easy to swap between games because the commands were pretty standardized in terms of like how to move in various directions or open doors, or, you know, like, it was a really big scene back in the 90s. Big scene. And they were fairly ambitious projects back then. Like these days, they, you know, don't have much of a player base for obvious reasons, but there are still some very long-running MUDs that have had enough of a sort of internal community that you do still see some people who are in their guilds after all this time. Which... Okay. I feel like I can't just do the P-jump, I need to land and then get back here. And then land and then land, okay. It's sort of interesting to see Mario Maker draw a player base of a lot of different generations in terms of when they started with video games. Like, it seems like it's much more multi-generational game than many of the kind of maker or modding communities I can think of. But yeah, there's the on-off setup that we can see to the right. Yeah. Okay, not sure I like the spike placement there. But, you know, one tile spikes and I don't tend to get along. If James bought and there is an enemy, okay. See. So it's basically one big community joke, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure the double hit is intuitive. And I don't know about some of these hitboxes, but this segment's fine here. The timing is a bit weird, but we'll see. I think it's definitely hard to see that the double hit on the on-off is something that you are supposed to do, and I think the Bowser placement is probably the biggest issue I have with this so far, simply because, you know, you don't get a lot of warning about Bowser being in range. So the hits can come as a bit of a surprise, but... yeah. And, okay. Here we go. It's an open section below the spike to squirt out the Koopa, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of beginning to see where the low clear percentage is coming from. And it's not that anything here is, like, particularly technical. Like, all of this stuff can be done with traditional technique. But it's more, like, visibility issues, I think. Like, that's kind of a precision thing, this is kind of a precision thing, but as you can see, it is manageable. Alright, let's move on. And it is clear condition based, so we do know that there's going to be no checkpoint, and that's something I deal with better than most players, but, oh, Rising Lava, didn't even notice that. Electrogen, I think this is the current submission anyway, so Eva's not going to do anything unless you're fine with me just calling it on this one. You know, if you want to just pull the level and make some fixes. But, like, basically as soon as you start playing a level, Warp World doesn't actually recognize it as being in the queue. That's okay. I mean, if you'd rather, Mr. Lesser, like, if you'd rather that I kind of abort the level in case you want to make any urgent fixes or something, that's fine too. Just need to let me know, like, if the bot's ever not responding and you want to do something with the queue that is not obvious, you know, people can just talk to me, like... We tend to do a lot of things here on the stream that are just by verbal arrangement. And the only thing that affects is whether the bot is displaying accurate level codes. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. We're progressing with it, and no, it's a lot of just little you know, playtesting issues, and it's not a matter of like not having fun or anything. Like I feel like I'm actually progressing through this. It's more like if you're sort of interested in maker feedback, I guess. We tend to talk a lot about this stuff in terms of design, just kind of looking at very specific placements and so on. So, yeah. I don't really expect I'll finish this, just given the clear rate and given... partly the length. I don't really want to complain about the length because, like, I am fine with long levels. It's just that realistically, your levels, particularly near the end of the session, it's a little more challenging to actually complete the stuff. But okay. Oh no, that needs to be a double hit anyway. So. It is not required to jump at that P-switch now. I think the fact that it is replaced with the P-block does make it safe. Like, I don't think the P-jump is actually required. I'm just doing it out of habit because I see the thing on top of the spike, and yeah. Yeah, the Bowser hits are a bit of a problem because you can't see what height they're coming in at, and you are kind of hugging the right side of the wall, right? Like, in order to do this stuff, you are going to be on the right side of the screen, and so there is no reaction window for when you see the Bowser projectiles come in. So I almost think that, like, I don't know if that was intentional in terms of, like, whether you want the Bowser projectiles to be within range, but the Bowser spawning rules are a bit strange that way, where, like, you can be very far out of range of Bowser having technically spawned into the level, but relative to his horizontal position, the fire is going to start coming anyway. I actually did see a particular kind of spawn block trick, I think, that used that. So I don't know if any of you follow the Super Mario Broth Twitter or Instagram, or no, I think it was on Tumblr actually originally, but Super Mario Broth being the account that basically shows off trivia that's about you know, cut content in Nintendo and glitch content and so on, but they show off some sort of edge case behaviors in Mario Maker every now and then, and one of those that was shown off recently was the fact that, like, the Bowser fire spawning position behaves differently than Bowser's own spawning position in terms of how he is treated as being loaded or not loaded. I'm not one of the, like, really deep, you know, loading tech wizards like some of the other makers are, but there's just a lot of edge cases like that in the engine. But yeah, it's always just kind of advice for future levels. I think that's very true. Like, you know, whenever people kind of receive feedback on levels, it's not necessarily a way of saying, you know, take this stuff down now and fix it or something. Like, sometimes levels are done and they've had some plays for a while and they're kind of in the past and you're finished with them, right? Unless it's something that is really desperately in need of fixing. And so I think often when people receive advice about making, the attitude they should take is, okay, I'll keep this in mind for the next level. Like, unless they're explicitly trying to refine something that is still kind of in beta or still in development, like, I think most level advice should be interpreted to mean, okay, let's remember this for the next project. Yeah. The mushroom was supposed to take the Bowser fire, yeah. Here's the thing about marking anything as traditional. When you mark something as traditional, one of the expectations, I think, in traditional Nintendo is that you should never be required to take a hit. Like, it's very different, of course, in a Maker context, because simply a lot of troll levels, puzzles, etc. do kind of require you to take a hit. But I think, like, if you look at, you know, Official Mario is extremely serious about kind of guaranteeing that you always have the option of not taking a hit. And like, it's very, very precise about that. Some ways, whoops, oh, okay, I blew it. Yeah. Okay, we'll try to get one more good attempt in to at least try to see a little bit more of the second section, and then I'll probably call it on this, just because we are running pretty long today. Yeah. Yeah. I think in general, and this is something that I've had to, you know, fix in playtesting with my stuff as well, that I'm feeling like there's a spot where you cannot just have a method that avoids hits 100% of the time, or where, you know, like basically if you ever required a player to take a hit, it needs to feel like there has to be a very specific purpose to it, like being like a puzzle item gate or something. And it's just a matter of, like, you know, does the player feel like they're in control, right? Okay. So we need to not destroy the Koopa shell on the side. Okay. Okay. Oh, and you actually do need 2 hits from the skewer to do the on-off. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to bail at this point, but thank you for showing me that. I mean, that's, you know, productive design discussion regardless. So, thank you again, and hope to see you back for more. We'll mark that as a loss. Yeah, thanks for showing it to me. It's always productive, even when we can't finish something, to kind of go through it and talk about design a bit. Yeah, I mean, you know, we're all trying to be better makers, and I think talking about this stuff kind of makes us conscious of what we can all improve sometimes. I don't know if Sonic Heroes, if you're around. Twitch seems to believe you are still here. But you might want to check in regardless, just to kind of inform our determination of how long we'll... Morton's Castle, gets through Morton's Castle and reach the goal. That's about a 3.5. Let me just check the list quickly. Yeah, it's going to be Sonic Heroes and Mini Hilly. And let's check. Doing. Both of them are listed as online, right? Or no, Sonic Heroes might be offline. So, yeah. Whoops. Let me just do a bit of back-end management over here. Okay, so Sonic Heroes, please check in. And if not, we will get to Mini Hilly, and that will probably be the last one. Mini Hilly is listed as online, but highly advised to check in. Case Warp World and Twitch are incorrect on this score. Yeah, POW Breakout Arcade. Okay, this is going to be nearly 100%. We're going to do it anyway because, you know, looks like it's one that's going to be very difficult to fail. Unless you very deliberately try to hit a timeout. Yeah, because I think even for something that is like nearly automatic, like 97 is actually a very difficult clear rate to guarantee. But people must have had fun smashing some POWs, so why don't we do this one? That'll be a good way to finish. Oh hey, new Lego Mario expansion sets? Okay, yeah, I remember the original reveal trailer for Lego Mario, and I haven't actually looked at it since, in spite of being somebody who likes Lego. What does this say? R-A-O-T? Okay. What it's trying to tell me. Ah, okay, so... yeah, it is jump-based. Not sure I get the mechanic yet. Let me just take a look at this. Okay, it's when you jump, that activates an on-off and it just releases. I see. Okay, so you just have to watch the firing position initially, and then it releases and just kind of bounces around everywhere. Okay. Okay, yeah, Atari Breakout, I was actually kind of expecting something that was more... yeah, it would be very interesting to try to go for a speed record on this one. I can also see why it is pretty much guaranteed 100%. Like, you would only really be able to die to a timer. Interesting implementation. I mean, there is a certain amount of, like, waiting time. I guess it would be based on a Muncher lock. Yeah, we can see that in the center, in fact. Okay. Oh, and then it gave me a mushroom, and it's going to give me a fire flower by the end. Give me a fire flower now, in fact. Wait, if it gives me a fire flower now when I just nuke this, and then... oh, I still need the key, okay. Fine. I see, I see. So, yeah, it would be based on the top deflection off of that. I feel like a speed challenge would be very difficult here, just because of the difficulty of kind of planning the deflection deterministically. This is easy enough, I might try to like do it for speed. Okay, save. Oh, okay, more segments. Interesting. Got lots of different layouts here, as we can see. So yeah, sometimes you just kind of need to sit and watch the animation. I mean, all of the time, actually, you just need to sit and watch the animation. But I guess with the walls having moved in closer this time, like, now it feels a little bit more gamey in terms of, like, actually having to plan the shot. So the first set was more of a tutorial set, where it was not strict about that, simply because it would always bounce off a wall. But now you actually do need to fire that within range. Then, yeah. Interesting implementation for sure. Feels like I've got a... okay. Yeah. I'll have to think about how to actually reach the right side. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. Go. Oh, got the boss music going for the moving platform in the center. Yeah, interesting series of setups. But yeah, my goodness, trying to get world record on this, it seems like it would be a bit of a challenge. Okay, I can see the pattern for what I'm going for here in terms of trying to drop it into the center and getting it to bounce. Yeah, the initial kind of tutorial rooms felt little more on the trial and error side just to teach the interaction, but now I feel like I am kind of paying attention to the control a little bit more, so that's going to give me a nice... And we're going to be out of here. Oh, okay, now we need to let it bust the block down low, because that will... Yeah, we actually needed to do a deflection back here. Didn't actually need to hit jump blocks, but that worked. That's funny, because you can totally get trapped here, I think, if, then you can always just go back through the pipe and still guaranteed a win. Everyone misses the bonus room under first play. You know what? We'll go back and do it. This is short. I don't know if I'll make a serious run at the world record or anything, but, you know. 2 minutes something world record, that... Okay, that's not going to be a record. No way, but we'll just drop everything a little bit lower. Yeah. Feels like I have not really been using that spin very much. Most of the POWs can be popped in one shot. Interesting that you would have kind of managed to find that through testing. Well, we got that on one shot. Should have paid more attention to what the entry point was. Okay. Yeah, actually, now that I'm seeing this again, I'm doing a little more planning in terms of where I'm doing the release. Like, first time around I was definitely treating it a bit randomly, but now I feel like it's much more targeted. And we still haven't really thought about the bonus room, that's very true. Okay. Well, I mean, we're already kind of carving into that side, so since to try to keep going while we have it partly opened up. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna reset my power-up progression. And let's see if this is going to get the one shot. I think like it should. No, it's not going to. Here we go. Yeah, we're going to be nowhere close to record, but feels like that would take some work. Oh well, gonna make a run at it. Trying to improve anyway. Okay, let's do that again on the right side. Yeah, I actually feel like I appreciate this level more the second time. In terms of the level of control I have over what's going on. It feels much less random this time. And much more targeted. That was just more a matter of, like, you know, going for a very random trial and error playstyle the first time. That's very much on me. Oh, oh no, I see the pipe on the left, okay. But I want to see how close I am to the speed record first. In case we manage to get it. I don't think we managed to get it, because this was about 180 seconds, I was about 3 minutes. Yeah. No, I see the bonus room at the end, actually. Ah, we were within 20 seconds. Hang on. Oh, I'm gonna check that pipe. I'm gonna check it. This is a short level. Let's do it. Of course, losing a little bit of time just in the room transitions. Not doing that very precisely. Okay. Yeah. Very nice. I haven't played these sort of Mario Maker mini games in a while. Like, I used to see a lot of them in Mario Maker 1 and play a lot of them in Maker 1, but despite how much you can do with the scroll stop tech, it feels like I've seen much fewer of these recently. And it may just be a matter of, who's bothering to submit them. Because, these do tend to climb the top lists very easily. Like, this is obviously a fairly new level, but with a very high percentage on it, and I could definitely see this blowing up into the top charts without much trouble. Just given the like ratio on this so far. And like, it's the kind of thing where I think a lot of people who do use the top charts are very likely to give it a like. So it would, actually grow in that environment rather than sink. But yeah, it's surprisingly tricky to design those layouts without the stickiness of it, yeah. I can absolutely see that being the case. Okay, if I feel like I'm doing good on a timer, I'll grab the clear. If I don't feel like I'm doing good on a timer, then I will check that pipe, which appears to be the secret room pipe. But it seems like I'm actually making decent time this time. Although record was, like, I would need to finish at about 340 seconds. So I don't think I'm going to make that. Okay. Clear out some room there. Yeah, I really do think this level's probably going to blow up, to be honest. I mean, it's sitting at 97% right now, and the thing is, it is very replayable. Like, I think maybe the first time it is, takes a little bit of getting used to, but yeah, I'm not going to make a record, so. But it kind of reminds me of how, like, even back in Maker 1, it was always stuff like table tennis levels that would just blow up to the top of the charts. And it's very well made. Like, I think it would be a very deserving entry in the top charts for sure. Like, considering how rarely I actually like the stuff that is popular in this game, This is, definitely something that would be good to see up there. And yeah, because it's the kind of thing where, like, beginner players would also get a kick out of it. It's very accessible. Okay, let's actually hit the pipe to the left this time. There we go. Now what is this? Bonus! Okay, so it's just coins. Ah, I see, because all the coins just kind of get fired at you. And you hit all the coin blocks in the meantime. And you just kind of let the shell do its thing, right? I kind of want to just stand here and, given that there's no way for the shell to disappear, I just want to see if it does eventually just clear everything, because I think it would be very interesting to see if, it actually does manage to kind of bounce everything. I think it would be very difficult to, to kind of mathematically prove a certain outcome with the way the shell deflection works. Like, you must have had to stare at this for a long time just to get it to tune up properly. Oh yeah, it's going to activate everything. Very nice. Very nice. I actually respect that a lot. And maybe that's just a function of how I released the shell, but the fact that the variants kind of managed to poke everything on the screen like that. I actually am impressed with that. I need to figure out how to get back out of here, though. There we go. Or... yeah, designed to clear every block. I am impressed with that. Also, even though we knew how the mechanism worked all along on our side, because it was fairly obvious to watch the on-off, it's kind of nice that this is one of those levels that just also kind of exposes the trick for everybody at the end in case they missed it earlier. I mean, I think it's extremely obvious how it's set up, because on-off is the only thing that you're going to toggle, but... anyway, thank you. Great arcade level. Yeah, you folks should look at the stats on this thing. This is primed to blow up, for sure. I have no doubt about it. Good luck with that, Mini Hilly. Thank you for coming by. Thank you, everybody, for staying for so long today. And... yeah, we will do the usual thing to search around for a raid to look for somebody who is potentially kind of early on in a viewer level queue and might be taking submissions. And we'll send you on to somebody doing Mario Maker regardless, unless something more interesting is going on. And that'll be all for me in the meantime. As I said, we are kind of giving a bit of a trial to the new rule changes with how I'm managing the queue over the course of this week. For those of you new here, we do tend to do roughly 3 viewer level sessions a week across a couple of different time slots. And yeah, we'll see how that goes, and we'll continue progressing on some of the things we haven't finished. So yeah, I know Reebox tends to do a lot of the Odyssey speedruns as well, and sometimes I do forward you folks over to him, so I'm going to look at the Maker 2 list first, and if nobody's particularly appealing, then I might send you to Reebox, but I'll scan around and see how it goes. So, in the meantime, thank you so much for coming by, and I will pass you on. So, good night or morning, or I guess getting into afternoon for some of you, wherever you are. Thank you for the follow.